Hi, everybody watching. Nobody's watching me live yet, but you will be coming in soon. Just doing some makeup. I really have no agenda. I just feel like doing makeup. I haven't done, you know, regular makeup or hog. I all I've been doing is focusing on Hagatha lately. So anyway, I just got banned from TikTok, so I had my Hagatha makeup on. So I'm taking it off, and I'm gonna do Divine or Kitty kind of makeup. Hi, Jerry. How are you? How's it going? I'm removing my Hagatha makeup. I was doing Hagatha earlier on TikTok. Okay, and of course TikTok. How are you doing? I'm doing great, thank you. I have two Hagatha TikTok accounts, and I got banned on both of them today. Hi April, how are you? Hi Angela, how are you? How are you doing? I'm removing my hog makeup because I was on TikTok and I got kicked off, and it's like, wow, I don't know. I wasn't saying anything. I mean, I was, but in my own way. But I don't know. You know what? I think TikTok heavily uses AI because I don't know how they know what I'm saying. Hoggith is my favorite lesbian feminist. Awesome. How are you? I've had 5 Twitter accounts. They're not as free speech as everyone thinks. You know what, Nicole? I don't, for some reason, I don't have. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Miss Robinson. I have no problems on X, Twitter. I don't know why, but they. I mean, do you know that there's like full on like hardcore porn on TikTok? Not TikTok. Hi, Michelle. How are you, dear? Um, Not TikTok. On X or Twitter. Um, there's full on like hardcore porn. Watch. Go into the search board. Search the search bar and type in anything like BBC. You know, you know what I'm saying. You know what words to say. Put that in the search bar of Twitter, and everything will come up. Everything. Oh crap! I'm using the wiring account. What are you What are you talking about? The Ring account? Hi, Kimberly. How are you? Sherry says I don't even have the app on my phone. And this the reality is TikTok. I can make some good money on TikTok. Hi, Kristen. I do. I mean, people just because they still the wrong account. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle Obama. Do you still have that, Michelle? Do you still do that? Um, so I'm removing my Hagatha makeup, and then I'm gonna do you know prettier makeup. I'm gonna do. If you guys don't know who Divine is drag queen from the 70s, 80s. Loved Divine. Was all in all the John Waters films. I love it. It's trashy. It's crude. It's crass. It doesn't have to be very perfect or anything. It just but it has a distinctive look that if anybody sees it, they know, oh, that's Divine's makeup. Did you see the boys' vlog? Who do you mean? Are you talking about the boys' vlog? Are you talking about the Welsh guys? My daughter has to do my makeup for a class in my master's. Really? Well, that'll be fun. Yeah, Ursula. Kind of like Ursula, yeah. You're right, Sherry. Ursula was um I shaved and it's really irritating my neck. Oh yeah, they were on a ship though. They went to the Caribbean. Yeah, we were I knew they were texting me from the ship. Divine wasn't homophobic until he met Richard Simmons. Is that a real story? I don't know about that. I love that because I'm going to tell you that. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. Of course, a lot of people they know they're gay when they're young. I did, and I my grandma took me out to eat to a restaurant in Palm Springs. Really? Oh, it's just a quote. Like, was it like serious? But I'll tell you, there's two instances of my life when I was young where I was like, oh, I don't want to be gay. I encountered a family friend's uncle who was extremely flamboyant and very sexual and very flirtatious and liked younger guys. And he grossed me out. Like he really grossed me out. And then there was another one, a waiter in Palm Springs when I was a kid. We were at Denny's and he comes up to the table. He has a beard and everything. From a distance, he looked like a typical man. But he comes up to the table. He's wearing these huge black eyelashes and they were fake and was extremely flamboyant too. And, had this sort of sexual nature to him. And I just went, oh my God, am I going to be like that when I grow up? Well, I guess I am. But as a kid, well, not like that, but I mean, I walk around like this. This is my typical attire outside of the house. And a pair of shorts to match. Well, here, I'll show you. Look. Typical Billy attire right here. That's my typical uniform with a black like wife beater tank top on. So yeah, I don't look like a big homo when I'm, out in the streets, but yeah, when I saw those guys, I went, oh God, am I going to turn into that? Well, I guess I am, but I turn it off and on, and I know when it's appropriate. Biggest ship I ever seen, really. I don't know what ship they were on. Oh man. But anyway, I got kicked off of TikTok off 2 different accounts. A normal homo. That's right, Jerry. I'm a normal homo. I know how to be appropriate and I know how to behave in different communities, And the funny thing is, it's like what black people call it code switching, or anybody who's not white for some reason has a name for it, code switching. No, you just know how to act around people to get the best, outcome possible. I've always been that way. I'm just like, okay, I kind of read the room and I'm like, okay, so I know what's acceptable, what's not. And I don't do it for anybody else but myself. I want the best income. I want the best outcome, I should say, as possible. I don't sit here and subdue my personality. Oh, Ashley, you like it? No, it's going to be part of my makeup look. I don't, I guess, police the way I act or speak in front of people. For them, I do it for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would, like, I don't know. I just want to get through life. I think I got to shave right here. Hold on. I just want to get through life as easy as possible. Yeah, I don't want any trouble. I don't expect everybody to love me. In and out. Hi. Is it Charlene? How are you? Anyway, I'm just doing a little more shaving. But all of my facial hair is mostly gray now. So it actually just kind of disappears in the makeup. But yeah, I don't go around acting straight for other people. I do it for me. It's like putting on an act. You know what I mean? You're putting on an act to make. I mean, at the same time, you're making everybody comfortable, but you're also making sure you're comfortable. It's like when I was a diesel mechanic. Anyone who doesn't love Billy is stupid. But I used to be a diesel mechanic. So imagine me being a diesel mechanic with all like heterosexual, like very macho men. I fit in just fine. Just fine. They knew I was gay, but I didn't. You could be gay and still not. You guys know what I mean. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove to anybody. Okay. I'm good. How about you? I'm doing great. I was, for a while there, I, had medication problems, but I'm good now. My gray is bad now at 53. Well, you know what, Leola? You can color your hair any color you want, and it should take it. Mandy says you're never pervy, though, in any way. Well, I think it's gross. And unfortunately, that is a big side of a lot of like gay people. They're very, very sexual in nature, I don't get it. Not everybody. I don't want to say I didn't say everybody, but someone will say, you said all gay people are overly sexual. And you know what? I don't care. If that's what you heard, then that's what you heard. You know what? I think I'm kind of going into 2025 not really caring if people misinterpret what I say. I know I'm pretty good at what I say. I think about what I'm going to say before I say it. Of course, I put my foot in my mouth sometimes, like anybody else. But I think I'm going to go into 2025 honestly not caring. Not caring. People, I mean, believe it or not, okay, I've been doing this since what, 2018, 2019. And I do hold back. I do hold back a lot of stuff. I don't think in 2025 I am. I just have to figure out how to speak in a less offensive way because I'm going to tell you a tactic. And it's funny, I posted a video of this about on Instagram, and it was about women. Um, like there are women who will have conversations, and this happens in the gay world too. So for some reason, whatever I see happening in the women's world gets mirrored in the gay world. You're going to be talking about something, it don't matter the subject, and someone will say, you know what? I didn't mind what you said, but I just didn't like the tone you said it in. And it's like, but we're not discussing tones of voice right now. We're discussing X, Y, and Z. So what they do is they completely derail your argument because of your tone. And this woman that I was watching this video, I absolutely loved her because she goes, listen, what you're doing now is tone policing. See, you add policing like ick, ist, like homophobic, transphobic, racist, misogynist. Add that, what would you call that, a suffix? At the end of anything. Make it into a problem and then accuse them of doing that problem. Okay? You're from the don't ask, don't tell generation. That's true. I am. I am. And because the reality is, I just don't care if people know. I don't care. Well, anyway, the point is, this woman was talking to this other group of women saying this is just woman garbage speak because now you're derailing the conversation. And this was her, it was a woman. Now, I don't know if I fully agree with her, but she was like in this camp that I just don't want a woman leader. Like it was one reason to be against Kamala Harris. She goes, because women can't get anything done. They sit around and argue about the argument. It's like it's like the argument is no longer about nuclear war. It's now about the way you said it or the way you made me feel when you said it. It's unproductive shit. So it's like, Burger Kingist, I have the right to eat. Right. I'm telling you, make a disease, a problem, a crime out of anything by adding ist, ism, whatever at the end of it. And trust me, it'll work with those people because they hold it. They hold so much value in these words like racist and homophobic, transphobic. The words don't even mean anything to me anymore. It's like, oh, you're just calling me a butthole. You know what I mean? I'm one of those women who act like men. It's hilarious, Jerry, because it's really bad with gay men. I'll tell you, these people just because they know when they're losing an argument or if they don't have a strong point, they then have to attack the way you said it. You made me feel a certain way when you said that. It's like I'm not in charge of your feelings. I said it and I felt great saying it. So I don't know how by the time it reached your ears, it turned into like World War III is beyond me. My ex-husband swore I have high testosterone. I think my ex did too. Well, she was a very, very I never knew a woman so much in my life that would challenge men physically. Like she was a big woman. She was like 5'10". And a sturdy woman, not fat. Well, she eventually got a little chunky. But she's a big woman and grew up with brothers, and so she thought that like she was gonna, get in my face and try to challenge me all the time. And it's like, I want to call her dude, get out of my face because now you're like in this space right here doing this. Like she would actually like, how guys do that? They like kind of go to each other and it's like some kind of posturing. That's what she did. It's like, why are you doing that to me? It's like you're all of us, like you're challenging me like a man and I'm not supposed to like, it's like you get the flight or flight, thing that hits you. Hi, Tara. Hi, Lizzie. How are you? Sherry says, I don't want a woman president. Just because some people in America respects women doesn't mean other countries. Right. And see, that's the thing. A lot of people got to think about that. You're like, you're just one player on the world stage of leaders. It's like, come on, you're going against these misogynistic men and these cultures that don't respect women. Well, unfortunately, you're a woman, okay? And unfortunately, there are lots of countries in this world that just don't respect that. So how do you think they're gonna look at us? I mean, it's funny. A lot of these people, oh, we're the laughing stock of the world because of Donald Trump. Honey, you think Kamala Harris is gonna make people laugh less? I mean, give me a break. Hi, Susan. How are you? Oh, we're just talking about what were we talking about? Oh, like women being in charge and leaders and stuff, and how I saw this one video of women, talking about serious subjects, and then they all of a sudden kind of turned it into I don't like your tone type of thing. How they'll like avoid the real conversation and mention a sturdy woman. That's right. Hey, young lady, are you in the makeup? Oh yeah, I'm doing makeup. Yeah, I am. I am. But I'm actually going to be, I'm inspired by a man who does woman's divine. BFF Billy Dean, how are you? How's the river? How's the river going on? I'm going to cover my eyebrows. I'm doing this really kind of in a sloppy way, but it'll get done. I'm just gluing them. You put glue all over your eyebrows and then you brush them. I use a toothbrush. The only pussy I like is my cat. That's right. But my cat, I have two boy pussies. Pea soup, women bad. Okay. But I don't know. The world's going crazy. The world's going crazy. You know what I'm going to start telling people, and this is really the truth. I mean, they don't want to hear it. But if you don't, I mean, it really, okay, if this is not your, I guess I want to say season for politics, you know what I mean? If you don't like who's in charge, I can guarantee you this. You could turn off your television and never turn on the news. Don't go on the internet. Avoid certain like sites. And I'm telling you, your life is not going to change whatsoever. Prices will go up and down, I'm sure. But I just, this dramatic mindset that people have are just, my God. I glue my eyebrows to arch them up and never block them down anymore. Oh, you mean you don't completely, you won't like, okay, I have no more eyebrows over here anymore, but when I was younger, I used to have very like thick arched eyebrows. And for some reason, the tail end has gone away. So I typically can do, good feminine eyebrows just with this, but what I'm doing today is Divine, and Divine has extremely arched eyebrows, so I'm covering these up. You know what, Sherry? I'm going to be honest with you. I did too. Like, I really didn't pay attention. The only time I remember Bill Clinton was a big deal when I was young, and everybody thought he was the shit. I didn't pay much attention. I mean, I paid attention to the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, but I was on drugs. You know what I mean? By the time I was cleaned up and I was an adult, honestly, Obama was running. And I voted for him. I voted twice for him. I know, the racist that I am. But, leaders come and go. Okay. Tell Mark we're thinking of him too. Oh, I will. He's walking the dogs right now. Susan, yours won't grow back, but isn't that cool? Susan, have you ever got a microblading? I bet you would like that. Pretty sad I'm 52 and I don't know how to do my brows. You know what, Tara? They sell, they have stencil kits. You could find like a perfect eyebrow stencil that you like and try them on and color them on, right? And then all the hair that's not inside of that, just tweeze. Bubba says, I was reading Listen, Liberal, Thomas Frank, and it's like 10 years old and sounds like it was written today. Do you know what? It's funny because I'll tell you a lot of politics, like now that I get older, no, nothing to microblade. No, no, no. It's like a temporary tattooing. Do you know what I'm saying? Hi, Judy C. How are you? Um, but I'm going to tell you a lot of this. I think a lot of people just honestly, they just it's you know what they do, Susan? They actually kind of use a blade and they etch eyebrows in, then they put the color over it, and then it kind of sets in and they wipe it off. And you being blonde, you could use like really light colored ones, and then if you want them darker, you could pencil them in. My Lib Dem friends are losing their minds. You know what? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of it's just dramatics. I really do, because how can like how can you have that much passion for something that you're kind of really, you know, I don't know. I think a lot of boredom is involved. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, they clearly know that the media has been manipulating them. They have to know it by now. They have to. I mean, with the huge loss of Hillary Clinton, when they were told, "Oh, Hillary's going to get it," the media is telling them it. So of course they sit at home watching their mainstream media that's been filtered and sanitized and approved of, and so they that's what they watch. And then you know and they did Kamala did the same thing. They did the same thing with Kamala, artificially inflated her. The funny thing is, the ones who know. It's like, why is it that so much of this country saw it, like, and so many didn't? And that's really and I'm going to tell you, I think there's an element of people feeling fooled, and they don't see that it was their own people that fooled them. Like, you're being gaslit and lied to the whole time. And even now, some people won't admit it. And I don't know, I think it's sad. I do. I've actually gone from the place of like even laughing at it. I mean, well, I do find it entertaining. All the people who are just imploding. I mean, it's like, didn't we kind of do this already? I mean, it's funny because every single person that's outraged and pissed off and, oh, I'm losing my rights. I'm losing this and that. You do realize we went through this before, didn't we? I mean, we went through this 4 years ago. And you're still alive. Like, you didn't get into a camp. You weren't, extinguished. You weren't thrown in a gas chamber. There were no re-education camps. I mean, I was promised re-education camps. I didn't get it because I was thinking, how fun, free rent, and I'll be around a bunch of gay men. My God, don't promise me, don't threaten me with a good time. Okay, I'm still waiting for it, but it never fell through. Maybe paying so. Oh, Judas, I see, and that's the thing. This is what it's been a week since Doomsday, right? Got to go finish your. Oh yeah, Susan. Yeah, while you have the chance, right, to do your ride. I bet it's beautiful up there right now. I want to come up, but right, that's the $1 million question. Why can't we see what? Why can't they see what I see and how? You know what? I'll tell you. I used to be one of them. Okay, I did. I used to be one of them, and I mean, I don't want to say this is how everybody, because I do have friends on that side. I do. And I wish, I wish? I wish my friends on that side would say to me, Hagatha, Billy, Kitty, how do you cope? How did you go from being a loudmouth crybaby who saw something wrong with everything to now, not having an issue with it? Nobody wants to know how you do it. Sorry, you just get us. I saw one where a woman was going to get a Glock. Oh, I saw it on a live white man. I saw that. You don't want to know what you want to know what Hoggetha's new. Believing the whole tracking of pregnancies is ludicrous. They can't even track felons adequately. What they think you think you're going to track pregnancies? Like, do people even think about it? Like, and I don't even care. And this is the thing. I don't even care if JD Vance or anybody made you think that. I don't know what he said, but there are people say, "Oh, JD Vance said this and that." Did you see the whole comment? Did you hear the question asked prior to it? Was there sarcasm? I mean, they do realize that there's a lot of sarcasm in the Trump administration. I mean, I think there's something good about it and negative about it as well, because there are just people who don't get it. Like, I don't know. It's so funny because the people that I know on the left, there's a lot of smart people, very witty and creative people. People that they know what playing around is like, because in the drag world there's this thing called reading, right? You're basically insulting people, but you don't mean it, right? But everything they're saying is true. Okay, so they want to act like, oh no, we're all about love. No, you're not, because you tear each other apart whenever it's convenient, or whenever the occasion rises. And it's like, trust me, the gays and left-leaning people, they are really good at it. But for some reason they don't like it when it comes from from conservatives or Republicans or anything. Another thing I want to say, a lot of people use the word conservative and Republican, or they throw it around a lot. I don't think they realize. Now, this is, in my neck of the woods and the people that I know anyway, they aren't Republicans or conservatives. And a lot of people, they're very confused that Trump won the popular vote and abortion is winning in states, in Trump leaning states. And it's like, why is it so hard to understand that just because you voted for Trump doesn't necessarily mean you're a conservative Republican? And that's what people don't get. For some reason, it's like they're dumbfounded by that. It's like, just because there are people who vote the way they want to vote. And and it's not, there keeps calling it GOP. No, it's not GOP, it's MAGA. Okay. That's what it is. And what they don't understand is the whole Republican platform is being taken over by MAGA. Okay. It's a whole new party. And I don't think they understand that. I don't think they get that. Hi, Joey. They call traditional liberals Republicans. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I don't know if it's just because these people have like this rigid state of mind. It's like, is that how you are? Because that's what I'm starting to think. It's like, no, there are people. Trust me, I know a lot of minorities, gays, abortion, pro-choice people that voted for Trump. It's not about conservatism and it's not about Republicans. It's about MAGA. That's what it is. And for some people, for some reason, people don't like it. There are Republicans who don't like MAGA and they're completely pissed off because their party is now changed. Okay. So I don't think people realize that. I ain't Republican or Democrat. Right. I'm an independent. Me and Mark are independents. Okay. We just voted Republican because that's where our candidate went. That's it. And there are lots of people like that. And I'll tell you this, as soon as that's done, as soon as this era is done, and if it doesn't change, I'll go back to independent. And the only reason why I went Republican is because in my state, if you want to vote for a Republican, you have to become a Republican. So I think a lot of people really don't understand what's going on. I don't think they do. You remember they send you a letter saying that you remind them of a refrigerator? Yes, Joey Gomez. It was from Carol Burnett. How do you remember that? So I want to know who it was. Somebody said that Carol Burnett wrote them a letter saying that they saw me and that I look like a refrigerator. I remember the time. I loved it and it was hilarious. Well, there will never be another election. And the people who say that, I don't think they understand how the United States works. Joey, that was so funny. And the funny thing is, that was pretty early on, wasn't it? It was pretty early, and I love Carol Burnett. And somebody said it, when they said that, it kind of, like, on a surface, like superficial level, it hurt my feelings because I'm like, what? I really like her. Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh, I'm so glad you reminded me of that. Oh, okay. Anyway, Carol Burnett, the celebrity from the 70s. Yes, but yes, Parrot Miss Wiggins. Yes. Do you want to know what my favorite characters of her was? She played like this old lady with like this straight gray hair that was kind of like a bob, and she wore a hat and she talked like this. And she was just so like uh what's the word? Wait, I remember that. What did she say? No, Cindy, somebody came on, okay, during one of my lives years ago, and Joey Gomez remembers it. Somebody said, or they wrote me a letter, and in the letter, was it a letter that I read online? But somebody sent me an Eunice. Oh, tell me, okay, Amy, am I the only one? I liked Eunice better when it was on the Carol Burnett show. Well, okay, I liked her early on in Mama's Family. But as the years went on, wait, the pigeon lady? Maybe it was the pigeon lady. I don't. Okay, but as years went on, I didn't like the way they were writing Eunice on Mama's Family. I only liked it early on. Something happened. I don't know. And then, she was completely gone. I don't know what happened, why Eunice left the show. But I loved early Eunice better than like later Eunice. Oh, it was the best. Wait, everything was better. Yeah, on the Carol Burnett show. Okay, you want to know another thing me and Mark have been doing? Do you remember, okay, in Living Color, there was this one skit that I loved on In Living Color. It was the one of the girls, and she played a character called Benita Betrell. Oh my god, she played like this gossipy woman living in some like brownstone, like I'm assuming like New York apartment building. Here, she like here, PG. She kind of sounded like just a lady named Janny, if you remember. Do you remember Janny on here? If she's watching, I know some of you know who she is. But yeah, the Carol Burnett show was I loved the Carol Burnett show. That was like really one of my favorite shows. Okay, let me do my eyebrows. Okay. Now this divine character, I'm at the store and I'm laughing. Everybody's looking at me, Joey. You started this whole conversation. I mean, someone either emailed you or you read it. Yeah, it was. Anyway, it was fake. I still don't know. I'm sure it was. But but I've had people, like, I'm trying to think who, like, I've had like altercations with like Kevin Bacon on here. He blocked me. And there was some Arquette. Not Rosanna Arquette, Patricia Arquette. She ended up blocking me. Um, some other people. Who else have I had encounters with? Oh, Michael Avenatti. You remember him? He's a name from the past, right? He blocked me. There was somebody else. I can't remember. Um, Cindy, it was some letter somebody sent me telling me they liked me or whatever. And they said that Carol Burnett was a friend of theirs. And they showed Carol Burnett my video or picture of me. And they said, someone wrote you a letter and then sent a gift. And they said, yeah, I know, Amy, Kevin Bacon. Like, he even talked about me, like a video of me. But anyway, I'm like, it's weird. The internet has really brought it. Hi, Adam. How are you? How was your trip? You guys, Adam and Dale, they went on a fabulous Caribbean cruise. Kind of a long one. Adam, would you suggest going on a long cruise like that? Maybe it was Patricia Arquette. It wasn't Rosanna. It was Patricia, but it wasn't, yeah, not the more famous one, Rosanna. But I mean, um, how was your trip? You guys, Adam and Dale, I believe it was your anniversary, right? They had an anniversary. They went on a ship, cruised the Caribbean and stuff. And it was a fairly long cruise, wasn't it? Now, if you could go, I have Kat Von D's Divine Makeup Palette. Oh, do you really? I got to look for that. I just have this one because I like a certain look. Divine does the blue look. I believe it's Take Me All the Way, Rosanna. But yeah, I like a certain look she does with blue makeup. So Adam, so I know it was a long cruise. I personally would probably go crazy. I had a friend who did a cruise for 2 weeks, and I think he absolutely hated it. From here to Rome. Um, it was brilliant. 15-night transatlantic first episode of the vlog available on. Oh, good. Oh my god, I could probably play some of it, couldn't I? I need to see Kevin Bacon video of him mentioning you. I wish I know I think it's on X somewhere. It was a while ago. I wish I could do good makeup. I can only do nudes. Well, there's like different technique. So a lot of times I'll do makeup and I'll clean it up with. I'll do my eyeshadow to crisp it up. I'll add more foundation to. There's tricks. I mean, but these are drag queen tricks, not like woman tricks. Like you're not going to go to Walmart all fancied up. So, Adam, how was the food? Was the food good? Because that's what I would be interested. Because honestly, I'd probably go, "Oh my god, what? Do they have a casino too? Like, what did you do? What do you do on a ship for 2 weeks?" Amy says 3 days is too short for a cruise, but 4 days is too long. I stopped going on them. I've never been on one. You know what I did? I did last year. Me and Mark, we did a cruise around Newport Harbor, but it was only 90 minutes. But we saw all the Christmas lights, and it was really nice because Newport Harbor here in SoCal, all the rich people do their homes and their yachts and stuff, and then they do like harbor tours around it, and it's really pretty. Yeah, did they have crabs? Did they have crabs on the ship? Amy says you basically eat every 2 hours. Well, I bet a lot of people overeat. I would have to stop my Ozempic. I knew a woman who had the lap band who went on a cruise and she had the fluid removed from the lap band so she could eat anything she wanted. Adam says, yes, it was great. They have pubs, restaurants, cinema, spa, glory holes. Susan says, a casino, comedy shows, magic shows. Some ships have Broadway shows. Really? Wow. Um, is it Arvia? Is the largest cruise ship in the British market? Wow. Was it being overrun by Pakistanis? Anyway, so was it a carnival cruise? I hear, I probably okay, if I ever did a cruise, I would want to be on one that had the least amount of children. Because I don't know if I could take kids running around. You know what I mean? Hi, Gay. How are you? Oh, Laura, I want someone to come up with a drag ship and do. Oh, there are drag cruises. There are. Just look up drag cruise. In fact, I think there's one getting ready to go. Amy says Royal Caribbean. I live really close to San Pedro. They'll call it LA Harbor, but it's really San Pedro. And it's we say Pedro, not Pedro, but San Pedro. And you see like Princess Cruise leaves out of like you would see the Love Boat there. Wait, it's a P and O cruise. It was half term, but hardly seen any. Oh, okay. You know what I would want to do, Adam? Are you see the Viking cruises down like the rivers of like Europe and like you could see Switzerland or whatever or Germany and I would love one of those. And you're like, oh, that's just an hour away from me. It's no big deal. But that's what I would like. I know they're expensive too. Being stuck on a boat is just like being stuck on an ocean jail. Oh, yeah, you have the flu. Are you sure you're not dying of COVID? Susan says they have a river cruise in Egypt. Oh, wow. Nicholas says, I want to do an ocean liner cruise if they recreated it. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Oh, love you, gay. Um, wouldn't it be great, like to recreate the whole Titanic experience? Imagine that would be a hit. I guarantee it would be a hit. Recreate the whole Titanic's. I mean, not of course go down, but I mean, the look of it, the music of the time, the clothing, everything. That would be awesome. I guarantee people would like it. Laura says, my friend loves cruises and was on one for 30 days and said, no way would I do that. It would be very hard. I know it's hard to believe that you'd feel claustrophobic on such a big boat, but I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't freak me out going, oh, I'm on the water, but I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't. Well, except the sinking. That's right. I bet Adam would be the first one to grab a child and go, I have a child. I have a child. Get me on the life raft. P&O have written into all the contracts. No, really? No, no shit. Like they're saying, don't ever play Celine Dion because people would think about drowning, right? That would be funny. You're having like a really like elegant dinner and they start playing Celine Dion music. They start playing the Titanic theme. That would be funny. Amy says, "Oh, hi Kay, how are you?" There's a new trend where people live. Oh, I saw that. It's cheaper than rent. Plus that you get fed. Okay, wait, let me draw on the outline of my eyebrows. Stop by to say hi. Hi Zen, how are you? Okay. Hold on, I gotta turn my phone on real quick. Okay, let me draw on an indication of eyebrows. It's just like a hotel that goes to different cities, usually one night at sea, sometimes a few days, like an Alaskan cruise, but the scenery is cool. I think, wait, okay. Kay says it's super cozy. Adam says that residency cruise was in Tenerife when we were there before we left for the Caribbean. Um, so Adam, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give your experience on the ship? Now I'm doing some big brows because this is what Divine does. So I mean I'm not gonna do it just like Divine, but the inspiration. Okay. You would give it an 8. So if you could change anything, Adam, what would it be? It's more like a city on water rather than a hotel. Loads of options. It was a brilliant experience for us. Was that your first time doing something like that? Hoggy's Van Smith is about to appear. Who's that? Who's Van Smith? What's more GH? What does that mean? Adam and Dale were on the ship and they were sending me messages going, "Oh, so who won the election?" They wanted to know everything. Okay, this is just to give me a guideline of my brow. And okay, so like somebody mentioned, Divine is the person like who was the inspiration behind Ursula. So you might see elements of Ursula. You poor unfortunate soul. I said what first? GH. Oh, Glory Hole. Oh, there were more. There were more glory. Oh. So surgery for what, Kristen? What, for your heart? I forgot. Oh, thanks, Belinda. Judicy says, I did a 7-day Royal Caribbean cruise and loved it. No, if there were more, it would be a 10. What was your favorite thing about the cruise? Adam, this is your chance to sell it. Okay. All right, so I wear Dermablend as my base flesh color. It's a very thick makeup, like really thick. It's like a hard paste, but it really does the job. Um, and it takes a long time to wash it off, but it does a good job. And a lot of like performers, they have to do color correction. Like you could still see some of my beard right here. What a lot of guys will do is they'll put orange right there because this will look kind of bluish through the makeup. But I wear a thick enough makeup and my hair isn't so dark to where it will shine through. So I even have some stubble and it'll go right. It'll cover everything. Oh, Van Smith did all of Divine's makeup in the John. Oh, really? Judicy says, when the boat docks, you get the pools to yourself. Oh, because so many people leave. Oh, that makes sense. You get the boat to yourself. Okay, you guys subscribe to Adam and Life with Adam and Dale to find out. Honestly, probably all the food and that makes everything was catered for. You can do so much or as little as you want whilst being. Do they have like spa treatments, like places where you can get massages and facials and pedicures and stuff like that? Hi, Crystal. I'm great. How are you doing? Thanks for asking. Judicy says they have a library at every ship. Oh, Mark would be in the library. Mark is a big reader. He'll go to libraries just to buy their old books. Like he'll get letters or emails from what are those things called? Libraries. Those things are called libraries. And they'll do dollar sales. They'll have you go in there and you take a bag, you fill it up and only pay $1. So Mark frequents the library a lot. Wow, it looks like old Max Factor pancake makeup from the 80s. It works really good. But these are kind of like this, like pan sticks, but they're from a company called Mayron, which is more of a theatrical makeup line. They do, but the cost is outrageous. Oh, for the salon services. Yep, they sell art on board too. The captain opened a Bansky. Well, I don't know what that is. Susan says, yeah, they do auctions too. How funny. Like, I never imagined they do all of that on a ship. I knew about casinos and like 24-hour buffets and shows. And there are and somebody asked about drag cruises. Yeah, there are prominent drag queens that go on ocean ships and they do shows. In fact, it seems like I just saw one recently being advertised. Oh, they have jewelry stores too. Hair salons. Yep. They have AA meetings in the library. Well, I guess if you're in therapy, you can't give that up now, can you? Look how, I mean, this Dermablend really covers well. I think it will cover your tattoo. Oh, wait, let me see if it'll cover my tattoo. I've never tried it. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Just a couple dabs. Huh. I wish I could. I should keep it covered all the time. Um, I was told cruises from Miami are quite cheap. Might think of combining Universal Studios and a cruise in the future. You probably could, because I had a friend who went to Rome. He left Fort Lauderdale, I believe, and he went to Rome. With all the booze on the ship, I'd imagine it'd be quite difficult for some. Yeah, probably. For the drunks. Disney Cruise Line. Oh yeah, there you go, Amy. That's a good choice. Adam, yeah, dude, Disney Cruise Line. I mean, it's probably going to be filled with kids and gays and fat Disney women. Have you? Oh my God, you guys, have you seen that? I don't know if I think it's on Instagram or TikTok, but it's basically it's a group of fat women, and they call themselves like the Overweight Disney Club or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like they go to Disneyland, they show you the good eating places, they show you the rides they can't fit on, things like that. Disney cruises, I think, would get a bit OTT for me. Over the top? Yeah, probably. Yeah, when I get around Disney people, like there's some that are just crazy Disney people. It's like, my God. I mean, I like Disney, of course, but I think at a normal, moderate level. I can't decide between Scandinavia or Turkey, Greece, Italy for me. You know what? That would be a hard one for me too, because I would love to see all of it, but that would be hard. Okay, so far I only did the top half of my face with the fleshy color. Now I'm going to add some white, or what I like to call privilege. Okay. The rides you can fit on, Jerry. And the thing is, I don't even say it out of hate. I've done that. When I was like super fat, me and like one of my last partners, I don't know, friends or whatever, I don't know. We go to Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm. We have a place called Knott's Berry Farm here. And it was so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed because I would wait in line, get on the ride, and I can't fit. And I'm like, I want to die. I was so embarrassed. And there were lots of rides. Like there was only like a couple rides I could fit on. And of course, you want to act like you're mad at them. It's like, well, I am a behemoth. I mean, I'm 6'3", 440 pounds. I mean, they got to make the seat I sit into a couch. You know what I mean? And and of course, I wanted to yell fat phobia. I mean, really, at what size do you stop complaining about fat phobia? Do you know what I mean? It's like when you're the size of a cow, I mean, they don't make rides for cows, they make them for humans. When you're the size of a cow, how can you be mad? I mean, seriously. But see, I was that fat person. I knew I was a fat ass. I knew I was taking up space, and I knew I was in everybody's way. I wish more fat people would feel that way. Oh no, I'm gonna get blocked on Facebook now. Oh no, all the fat people are going to come out. How dare you? You're so insensitive to fat shaming. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're fat. You know it. And you don't like it either, so shut up. Just identify as skinny and you'll get on the rides, okay? It's all about how you identify. The way you identify can completely change reality. Do you know that? Oh, God. I'm telling you guys, Yeah, I really thought the world was getting better. I really did, and it's not. The world is not becoming a better place. It's weight privilege. Oh God, why is my nose is so itchy? Oh God, you guys. But I'm telling you, the world is falling apart. People are losing it. They are. And you know what I think? I think a lot of people are doing it for their community or their friends. Like, I think people pretend to care more than they really do. You know what I mean? Like they love like to believe like, bad things are going to happen to them because they just want to be a part of something because they're just bored. When they know they're just average peasants living their life and nobody even notices them. I think that's what it is. I think people want to be noticed. So they want to use their outrage as a way to get noticed. And it's like the reality is these people are just so average and boring and just live humdrum lives. And it's like maybe that's what it is. It's like they need excitement. I don't know. But I think a lot of these people, I'll tell you one thing. I see these TikTok videos of people who are scared and it's like, okay, so I want to understand something. So you're sitting at home and you're mourning. You're believing you're going to be put into a camp of some kind, that you're not going to be able, you know what I mean, to have an abortion. And you're not even fertile anyway. Like you're not even giving birth anyway. Like, well, I'm voting for my friend. Well, why? Why'd you vote for your friend? Why didn't you vote for your household? Like I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sure, I know illegal people. I do. But I didn't vote for them. I voted for me because I care about me more than them. Like, I don't know. Why do people not vote like for their best interest? I mean, it's like I know heterosexual people who are living their lives and they have a family, things like that, but they're voting because they think gay people are going to be in concentration camps. So they're like, well, I'm voting for the community. I want to save people. It's like, why don't you let them vote for themselves? You know what I mean? Because you're really tipping the scales in an artificial way. Because you're making the world or the country think that these topics of LGBTQ are so important. Like it's so pivotal to the human race. It's like, no, it's not. Just stop it. Yes, relatives so scared for me. I mean, right, Baba, please. I mean, please, I don't need you to care about me. I trust me, I've been taking care of myself for 55 years now. I'm doing a pretty good job. I mean, they're now coming down on Latinos for not voting for illegals. It's like, well, and what I said was, and this is true. Think about it. If you think Latinos are supposed to vote for illegals, what are you saying? Are you saying that Latinos are illegal? Like, why are you putting them in that camp? You know what I mean? Trust me. I live 90 something miles from the border. I've lived here my whole life. Okay. The majority of the people I have known have been Mexican. The people who hate illegals the most are Mexicans. Okay. And I understand in your white majority city, you don't see that. That's another thing I want to say. These people who live in these like lily white neighborhoods, that's not the country. You live in a community, just like West Hollywood, not far from me. It's a complete bubble. Like it's a bubble, its own little universe with their own little thoughts and ideas and things like that. But they think they are like the prevailing culture in the country. It's like, no, dear, I could promise you as a truck driver, and I have been across this country, you are a freak show. Okay. You are a few miles square block of its own culture. And I understand that it's a popular culture, but it's not the prevailing culture. Okay. But for some reason, people are very strange. They are. Oh my God, the Latino thing is so freaking racist. Like grown men need white people to tell them what to believe. It's really, what's funny? People say that, the parties did a switch, during slavery, whatever their myth is. I honestly think it's happening now. There are people who are like, wait a minute. These ideas that the Democrats are push and you're seeing the way they act, you're seeing the way they believe now. They really do believe that they own the votes from the Hispanics and the blacks. Like they really do think that they're owed that. And it's like, why do you think you're owed that? Like I really want to know. Like, why do you think like you own these people? And then the second that they don't do what you want them to do or what you think they should do, you turn on them. It's unbelievable. Like, I certainly have never heard Republicans say that we're owed the white vote. I've never heard that. And I've never heard them break. Well, you know what? They do break it down. They'll break it down by race. Well, white men did this. And, and now they're including Hispanics. It's just unbelievable. And I mean, personally, like I'm not a party loyalist, but I don't think I could ever call myself a Democrat again. I don't think I could. Even if I liked, like, say, a Democrat candidate, I would vote for them, but I would never promote the fact that I'm a Democrat or push it because it's like, nah. You know what? And this is what I never understood. We all know that they're the party of slavery. They are, okay? And the thing is, they'll say, well, the party's changed. They switched platforms. Okay. But why would you call yourself a Democrat then? When you know the evils that they have done? Like you're taking on their name and their image. Imagine all of a sudden if the Nazi party decided to be all about peace and love. Would you really call yourself a Nazi? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, doesn't the name have a stain on it? Why doesn't the name Democrat have a stain on it? I don't, you know what I'm saying? None of it makes sense to me. Anyway, I have no regrets. No regrets at all. Um, my relationship with my stepdaughter after 20 years ended when Trump won. Are you serious, Leola? I mean, okay, it's this extreme mindset. And I get it. I used to do this. Okay, I'll be honest with you. When I was younger, I hated Christians. I hated them because you know why? And I'll tell you, hi, Lisa. How are you, dear? I hated Christians because and I went to church, so I knew what they believed, right? This is what I did. Okay. So when a Christian says, I don't hate the sinner, I hate the sin. Okay. So what I would say is, well, I'm sinning in the sin that you don't like. Okay. So you don't hate me per se, but you hate what I'm doing. Therefore you hate me. And I would do this in my head. I would say, well, okay, so then you must think that I deserve to go to hell. So now I'm dealing with someone who thinks I should go to hell. So you agree with God that I should burn in hell forever. And you think I should burn in hell. So you're saying you love me, but you think I should burn in hell. I would play these games in my head. That's what I would do. So I would convince myself that all of these people are bad and evil because this is what they believe. Well, you can do that with any system. You know what I'm saying? For instance, I kind of so messed up mind games, right? And so what I would do is, so this is what I do now. Okay. So if you live in the United States, and this is the same thing, okay? If you live in the United States You pay taxes. You believe that the president is a Nazi and a fascist, right? So you have all these Democrats who think that Donald Trump is a fascist and a Nazi. And if you live in the United States, you're paying him. You're paying him, and all of your taxes are going to pay for his administration and everything that he does. You are supporting him with money, okay? To do whatever he's going to do, to take away women's rights, okay? If that's what you believe, you also have to believe that you're paying for it because you live here, okay? So how does that set with you? Actually, if you believe that your leader is a fascist and a Nazi, well, so are you, because you are here supporting him. Okay. Now, how are you going to get around that? You live under a Nazi and fascist leader and regime, and you're paying them money for it. Now, you can't say, well, my family's here and my job and my kids, and I can't. No, you can get away. You can get away from it. You know why? Because millions of other people have done it from other countries. Okay. They have walked here with their children. Okay. So maybe it really isn't that serious to you. If you are still going to remain in the United States and you believe that he's a Nazi, so are you, because you're here. You're under his rule, right? You live here, you're paying the money. You're supporting him by staying. And that is an argument, and there's truth to it. She defriended me on Facebook and blocked me from calling. You know, Leola, it's immaturity. It really is. I think it all boils down to immaturity and privilege. We are all contributing, right? I mean, come on. At some point, you cannot remove yourself from it. Just like what? We can't remove ourselves from colonization, right? If you live in the United States, especially if you're a white person, you're a colonizer, and that's it. In fact, if you're white, you're a racist. That's an accepted thought. But if you're an American and you live here and you're paying taxes into the system, you are paying the wages and you're paying for the bombs that the Nazis and the fascists are dropping on people. I mean, how do you get around it, really? And another thing, do these people really even believe in democracy? If they saw that the majority of these people want this, just like with Joe Biden, the majority of people, some people say supposedly, some people say whatever, but you know what? I've seen people saying that this election was rigged. Now people on the left are going, well, you know what? It's awfully fishy. But they can't, they don't want to come out and say, oh, it was a cheat. Because then, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll be doing what the Trumpers did 4 years ago. Marquina hung over from yesterday. No, you know what? Marquina's very good about handling her liquor. Very good about that. Oh, because it was Veterans Day, huh? No, she no, it doesn't really get drunk. But you know, almost daily Marquina drinks wine. Marquina does like her wine. Do you want to know what, Baba? I've that people have talked about that there's going to be another assassination attempt. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Oh yeah, and the Marine birthday. That's right. We didn't really do anything. We went shopping. We went grocery shopping, and that's why it was so crowded. I totally forgot it was Veterans Day, and the beginning of the month, so everybody had their food stamps. So it was pretty packed at the store. You know what? We've been getting some really good deals on meat. Albertsons, I posted this, I think, on social media, Instagram. They had a deal at Albertsons and Vaughn's where you have to buy 10 pounds of meat, but it was 290 something a pound, which is outrageous. Stay at home, moms. It's okay. Oh yeah, Bubba, they've completely forgot. Could you imagine if there was an attempt on Kamala Harris? It would never go away, ever. Okay, of course, because I'm talking too much. I'm taking too long. Um. Anyway, so I'm gonna do like it's like a classic divine look, but it's all blues. I don't know why I like it. You know why I like using blues? Because nobody else does. That's why. Actually, it's pretty rare to see people use blue eyeshadow. And I know it got like a bad rap in the 80s. And I think people kind of started wearing it again in the 90s. But oh my God, in the 80s, it was like a huge fashion faux pas if you put on blue eyeshadow. Mostly for like career women, I guess, but I don't know. But I remember, oh my God. Well, there were some people who overdid it, you know. And then I knew people who had really pretty blue eyes. And like if you know makeup like theory or color theory and stuff, brown looks better on blue eyes because it brings out the blue. You want to use the opposite color. Like my eyes are kind of blue and green mix, so like purples look good. What else? Pink, brown, but blue is not going to be, I guess, the best color to make my eyes pop, but I don't care. But peaches are good with blue eyes. You kind of want to look at the color wheel, find your color, and look at the opposite, and that's the best eyeshadow for you. It also depends on the tone, also the tone of the makeup, because you may be cool, warm, neutral, you know, and you gotta, think about the shade of the color you're using. But of course, I'm doing a completely outrageous look right now. The challenge for me when I do makeup is my brow bone. You see how it goes straight down and then it stops and bumps out because I'm a man, of course. And Sherry, yours are green and bluish. Yeah, like mine will change colors. You know what I mean? Like sometimes in the morning my eyes are really green, and but it also depends on what you wear. Okay, I gotta stop doing this. I need cool tone shadows. Yeah, me too. Um, there's this person I follow on. I want to believe. I think it's TikTok. They're really good. They're out of like England, I think, but they're really good at color with people. So they'll put like people in a chair and they put all these scarves on them, and like one will be warm, one it'll be the same color, but one's warm, one's cool, and it does a good job of showing it against their face, and you can really see what looks good on people. One thing I've been told, and it's true, that just because you like a color doesn't mean it looks good on you, and that's true. The colors that look good on me, I traditionally don't like. You have brown eyes, right? So you could wear really anything. I mean, the opposite of brown, like okay, like you could wear blues. You could wear brown eyes sometimes have like undertones of like red or amber, or yellow. You could play with those colors too, but kind of brown eyes are like kind of like universal. You can kind of do anything. But like let me see what would like you could wear like yeah, listen, you could wear really anything. honestly. But it also depends on your skin tone and all that stuff. But you can tan well. You probably are more of a warm color. I mean, from your picture's this little, so you look kind of tan. Um, there's so many warm shadows that are in the same. Oh, and some of my palettes, but I can't wear them. Yeah, it really is kind of hard to find what's best. And I'm not even like the best at this. Like I'm not. Like I'll see guys doing their makeup and I'm just complete. You have very pale skin tone. Usually pale implies cool, but there are pale people that are warm. It depends like what, if you're Arctic, if your DNA comes from like Northern Europe, chances are you're cool. If it's more toward the equator, chances are it's more brown. It's more, neutral or warm. Cool skin tone, I guess. Yes. Like you can wear jewel colors. Like I'll tell you the colors that look best on me. I don't necessarily like Easter egg colors look good on me. Leola, I know I love black clothes too, but now when I'm older now, black really shows up my flaws. Like it really makes me pinky and stuff. When I was a teenager, like I wanted the goth stuff, I wore like pale, I wore like lighter like foundations and stuff to cut the pink out. Like you can see I'm pink, but then I would wear like a really light one, and then I'm like, and that looks better with black. But if you're pinky and freckled, and I just now when I wear black, I don't really care for it. I look good like in lavender, in teal, things like that. But they're not my favorite colors. One time I wore a pink polo shirt at a truck stop when I was a trucker, and these guys were laughing. I had just gotten out of a shower because truck stops have showers, and these guys were totally laughing at me. And one of them came. They were drunk or something. I was at Taco Bell at a truck stop. This dude came up to me and he goes, "I hope you don't mind us saying, but you look like a big penis." It was funny, but I swear to God, for years I didn't wear pink because I looked the color pink that I was because I just got out of a hot shower was exactly the color of my shirt, and it looked. I just like I couldn't get mad. It was funny, but okay. So now I'm gonna use that same white, like in the center here, just to create some dimension. Hi, Vicky. How are you? So this is like to create more of like a rounded forehead rather than the square one that I have. It kind of gives you a focal point. You want to make it like kind of like light is hitting you. And this is like totally white, but I'm gonna put a powder over it. You know what I mean? That's gonna be more of a fleshy color. So it'll just this will just be a bright spot underneath the powder. Okay. So far I put no powder on my face. It's all just been like liquids and creams. I'll then go put powder over it and it will like set it. I'm still a little goth yet in some ways. I wear black all the time. Like this is I don't know. I wear black tank tops all the time. My shoes are black. I do wear black a lot. I just try not to wear it like right up against my face. Okay, and then I have I'm such a slob. I I don't know where it is, but I need it. But it's a contour. Okay, this I will use this in a pinch, but I don't really like it as much as this other one. But this is what I use as a contour color, and if you look, it's gray. It's taupe, which is like a gray brown, which is really okay. If you see these shadows right here, this is like your natural shadows are really should be your contour color because your skin, gives off certain shadows and stuff in the light, and you kind of want that. Again, it's just a theory, but that's kind of what you want to use as a contour color. Because imagine if I put on like some sort of warm brown streaks on me. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't go with my skin tone. So I know that, there's lots of makeup out there and people are like, oh, they just kind of put anything on their face. And it's like, you kind of got to really think about it because it's not always going to work on you. And I've seen women like in the store, see, they'll do their makeup at home under their perfect lighting. And then they go to the store and you're like, why do you have brown stripes on your face? You shouldn't see it. But and unfortunately, I see a lot of women really follow drag queens and they get a lot of like, okay, here it is. This is the different one. This is the other contour. You see that color? Okay. And I'll just dot it around and then blend it in before I put the powder on. I wear a lot of black, like black clothing. Do you have good skin? Like, I mean, I love black. I do. I think it's harsh on me now. I need more of a softer color. Navy blue. I like really dark navy blue. I like that over black now, just because, the black is really harsh. Okay, so I'm going to try this. This is sort of like a lighter version of this. This is pretty heavy and pasty, and this is kind of more liquidy. So I like to, okay, put it in here, and it will kind of narrow my forehead. Now, this won't be the final color. This will kind of just be underneath the powder. Now, this isn't really required for this divine look, but I kind of take the divine look and sort of mix it with more of a feminine look. I tried to, because divine wasn't, complete drag. Like, you know what I mean? But I kind of want to be a prettier version. Like these eyebrows, if I was really truly like, I'm going to play the character of divine, these eyebrows would go like this. I'm kind of softening it a little bit, but still have some severity, Greg, what in the actual F? Is that what you're saying? So what do you want? What do you want to know, dear? I'm here to answer all questions. Don't be afraid. I won't bite. And I'm not easily offended. So what would you like to know? Okay. Okay. There's warm tone bronzers and cool tone bronzers. Yep. I found an awesome cool toned one by Maybelline. The compact with blush bronzer. Oh, see, those are great when they're all in one. Divine would shave his head for more room. Yep, for eyebrows. Yep, you're right. I mean, at some point, you really have to commit to these looks. If they're your character, I'd like it look like a orangish stripes. Yep. Okay. Okay, so on top of this, I'm gonna do now I'm gonna put on wait, let me increase my white more. You know, it's funny when I'll look at Divine's makeup and it really isn't very polished makeup. And I think that's why I like it, because I don't know. It's like they just don't take it too seriously. And you know, it's a man, you know. Like I know that I could never look like a woman. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what I like about drag. I'll tell you, I don't like new drag. I don't like but then again, I'm a product of my time, you know. And you know, I'll tell you in 20 years someone's going to come along and say I don't like the drag of today, but they like the drag of now. You know what I mean? That's just life. And but there are a lot of people who do not like. They don't like the drag of today. There are performers who don't like the drag of today, the new drag. Because what's happening is there's a transing of drag going on. And I I have a prediction that in the future all drag queens will be trans gender people. Because I believe that there will come a time where men doing it will be considered offensive. I already see it happening. There's already drag shows that are strictly trans. Okay. So pretty soon you're not going to see men doing this anymore. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's going to be considered offensive. The funny thing is, even though there are some biological women who think it's offensive, they don't take them seriously, but they're going to take trans people seriously. They're going to say, you're right. See, because I think what's convention, not all trans people feel this way, but there will come a point where trans people are going to say, well, you know, it's offensive that you're a man dressing up as a woman. You know, you're taking opportunity away from us. It'll be something. Trust me, it's going to be something. But I do believe, see, I'm from like the thought of, you like drag of the 90s. I like, for me, the magic of drag for me is knowing that that person on stage with the big boobs, the big hips, and the big ass, and the big hair, and all the makeup, you look like an exaggerated woman. You're playing the character of a woman. You're not trying to be a woman. You're exaggerating the form and the makeup and the movements and the attitude of a woman. Okay. And I believe it was RuPaul who said it. I don't like the way RuPaul thinks now. I liked the way RuPaul felt in the past. That I think it was him who said it. That drag it's the art of taking. I'm your vintage, and I agree. It it's what it is. It's a man dressing up in the character of a woman, a cartoon woman. And you're basically taking everything about a woman and turning the volume all the way up. Some people kind of understand it when you say it that way. I'm not trying to be a woman. I'm not trying to be a woman, and I'm not trying to replace a woman. I'm basically honoring women. And it's just fun, and it's theatrics. Hi, Tim Beers. How are you? What's happening now is a lot of these performers are people who think they're women rather than a man who knows that they're a man. They're just like the theatrics of drag. They like doing it. But most of the men that I know who do this, it's a chore. They like the creative outlet of the art of it, but it's a chore doing this. And once they're done, they come off stage, they go backstage, and they take it all off. Okay. Many of the people today will live as women and then put on extra eyelashes, wear a bigger wig, do more severe makeup, and then perform. For me, that's like not the magic. Okay. The magic is you shaved, you put on, you spent hours doing your makeup, you're a man, and you are doing everything through costuming and prosthetics to make this cartoon of a woman. Where now a lot of these guys are getting their lips blown out, they're getting breast implants, they're taking hormones to soften their skin, and they're getting their hair removed. For me, when medicine and a doctor turns you into a woman, I don't think that that's drag. I think drag is when you are a man who waxes, who shaves, who plucks, who tweezes, who hides it, who shave. I mean, there are guys who are very committed to the art who will shave their eyebrows off. Okay. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore, but it's like, I want to see you be a magician and create this illusion. To me, that's what drag is. Going to the doctor and getting big lips and a big ass injected into you is not drag to me. It just isn't. Yes, that's what makes it magical. Right. It's like you're seeing the work. You know what, to me, it's like you invite people over for dinner. And then what you do is you go to a restaurant and get food catered, but yet you told people I'm going to make you dinner. And then they come over and then they take credit for all of the food that they're serving you, but they didn't make any of it. That's it. To me, that's kind of like what it's like. You didn't make any of this food, but yeah, it's great. It's good. I like it, but you didn't make it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. To some people, I overthink it, but I like drag. I like the art. But there's also an argument, and I admit this, that drag in its essence is misogynistic. I believe that. I do. Because the history of drag, I agree with you, XYZ. I think RuPaul at first didn't ruin it, but then he ruined it. And I'll tell you when he ruined it. He ruined it when he caved in. And there used to be a segment on RuPaul's Drag Race in the first several seasons where there's like a drag workroom and everybody's standing around. Then a TV comes on and RuPaul will come on and give you a challenge. They used to call that segment she-mail. Okay. Like email, she-mail. Okay. Because they do everything. They speak everything in a feminine way. Instead of history, it's herstory. Okay. So she-mail became offensive because transsexuals at some point in history were called she-males, like in the pornography world and stuff like that. Then for some reason it became offensive. So RuPaul was like, at first stuck to his guns. He stuck to his guns and he said, well, no, but then he caved in and then apologized for it and took the segment off. So everything became very sensitive to the transsexual world. Okay. Where drag is fun, it's comedic, it can be insulting, everything. They sit around and insult each other. But for some reason, they had to remove that. And RuPaul at one time did not believe that transsexuals should be on the show. Because he comes from the era and the time where they were called transsexuals. And now that's going, you never hear that word anymore. Now it's transgender because they're playing with the language. But no, it's I don't know. But anyway, but back to what I was saying, I'll admit this. I believe that drag was formed out of misogyny. I mean, all you have to do is look at the history. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's a reality. Hi, Divine Waters fan. I think it's a reality. because it was like Shakespeare. It was in the 1700s when there was like live stage acts. Women were forbidden to perform. So to create, so you could have women on stage, men had to dress like them. So men dressed like women. This is back in like the 1500s. Okay. Well, that has been carried on through, even though women were able to perform, men still did it. Okay. But it was created because women couldn't do it. They weren't allowed to. Okay. So gay men have carried on this tradition of misogyny. And I don't, is it innocent? Sure it is. But if everybody wants to go and look at the origin of things and blame people, for stuff and oppressing people, well, drag is a part of that. It is. And I'll admit it, and I'm still going to do it because I don't care. I mean, you could still understand that and still not be mad at it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could be mad at slavery, but don't you want one? Me and Marquina would love to have a slave. Okay. Hi, Hoggy. I love that pig mirror. I do too. I love it. You know what? But people keep, every time I use it, people are like, they call me a racist or something because somebody who designed it is a racist or something. I don't know. Shane Dawson. I miss Divine. Divine and you are the true drag queens, talented, authentic, entertaining, and stir the pot. Right. And see, that's the thing. That's also another problem I have with drag queens today is they're all pussies. They are. It's like life has become so easy for them that it's no longer, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not even a subculture anymore because it's so mainstream that it's you're not a rebel for doing it anymore. You're not really making a statement by doing drag anymore. Okay, the world has become so hospitable to it, or the United States has anyway, and Western countries. But it's not even a big deal anymore. It really isn't. And to me, that's kind of when it died, because it used to be hard to find drag shows. Like you had to like know where the clubs are, and you had to know the people, and you had to know, and it was always like kind of in bad areas. So it was like always like an element of danger and riskiness to it, and naughtiness. Like you knew that it wasn't widely accepted. So you kind of felt like you were doing something special. Not anymore. They're doing drag at Disneyland. They're doing it on cruise ships, as we talked about. It's everywhere. So it's like it's no big deal anymore. And that really kind of ruined it for me. Like I find most drag queens boring as hell. They are. They really are. In fact, some of the most famous ones are boring as hell. Trust me. They've just developed a persona and like a cult following that kind of keeps them going. But I know drag queens, like famous ones, who don't even like doing it. Like they're tired of doing the makeup. And for a lot of these, and I think a lot of the winners from RuPaul's Drag Race, there are regrets. There are some that will full out say they regret going on the show. I'm glad I got to see 80s drag trashy and hilarious. It is. It's like now it's Disney drag now. That there's nothing that pisses me off more is when I see like drag queens catering to children, and it's like it just seems gross to me because it's like you do realize that when we were coming up and we went to the clubs, like I'll see 40, 50-year-old drag queens performing for children, and I'm like, doesn't that kind of mess with your head a little bit? I mean, when we do it, we're doing it with adults who are drinking and half naked men dancing. It's like I don't understand how you feel comfortable translating that into like a childish environment. I don't get it. Right, Jennifer? I don't get like I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. Sure, at Disneyland, is there a man in the Minnie Mouse costume? Chances are yes. But that doesn't become the focal point. You see Minnie Mouse. Now, if there was a man who dressed up, say, let's just say he was a gorgeous little guy, and he could pull off Cinderella, go for it. But you don't make the Cinderella a drag character. You make it Cinderella. It's not about the man in the costume. It's about the costume and selling the fantasy to kids. Okay. Then you're like, to me, a true actor and like you really care. But if you're out there dressed as Cinderella at Disneyland and you're here, I'm gay and I'm proud, nobody's there to care about your pride in being gay. They want to see Cinderella. Okay. And I'll tell you, I found out something, something similar hit me in the face. Do you ever hear anything about Sharon Needles anymore? Sharon Needles recently performed at the club that I used to manage. And I know Sharon Needles doesn't really, I think Sharon Needles, okay, while I have my own personal encounters with Sharon Needles, okay, I honestly, you know what, you want to know, Divine Waters fan, and I know you probably know of a lot of these drag queens. I honestly would love to see a resurgence of Sharon Needles and Sherry Pie. I would. I would love, and I would even love to create the platform where these thrown away drag queens that are actually very talented and good can have another chance. And they can get that chance, honestly, under the so-called Republican umbrella.
Hello.
I'm telling you, the biggest money I've ever made was from these people. People just have this idea that people who vote a certain way don't want to have fun. No, dear, we have fun and we have filthy good hardcore fun. Okay. And it's like you have like Sherry Pie, you have like Sharon Needles. They've created great characters and acts. They really have. And it's like and I'll tell you, they are more recognizable. Oh yeah, Truly Divine would be great. And I know several. Okay, I know other ones too that they have performed with these people that are just kind of aged out of it or have had health issues or whatever, and but they no longer look at the current drag scene as hospitable to them. Well, you know, when you've, you know, I basically call them all Walmart queens because they're just, you know, run of the mill. I want to please everybody because now it's all about money. Okay. I think that is what happened. They created wealth with drag. Okay. And so now these people are just chasing a check rather than actually enjoying. Okay. I'm going to tell you, okay, Raja. Raja's great, wonderful and stuff. But when I used to be on speaking terms with Raven and they used to do their fashion photo review, Raja hated doing that show. Raja hated getting into drag. That's why I was so like, okay, Raven told me personally that Raja hates it, hates getting into drag. Okay. Now that might have changed when Raja was asked to come back to do All Stars. Okay. Because Raja comes back with a new face. Okay. Has a new face. And I'll tell you, the one time that I worked with Raja, we were in a car together driving to a venue. And Raja, and then all this trans stuff has been blowing up for a while. And he said to me, he goes, you know, maybe I'll be trans. Maybe I'm, you know, it's like these drag queens are like, I'm sorry, I'm listening to something. Oh, so some of these people, it's like they're now taking the current drag and gay culture and trying to apply it to their act or to themselves. Jackie Beat's another. Loved Jackie Beat. Loved Jackie Beat. I can't stand him now. I can't stand him because now all of a sudden he's 60 years old and now he's a vegan and he's posting recipes and he's telling people about the current. It's like everything's about being a vegan. It's like, dude, nobody cares. Like why are you becoming the vegan that everybody can't stand? Yeah, be a vegan, go for it. Enjoy your diet. I don't care. But dude, it's like, why? Yeah, Jackie's lost his mind. He has, and it's really sad to see. Very sad to see. And I'll tell you, I've been around Jackie when she's been awfully racist, but yet because she was around so-called white people, she thought she could say certain things backstage. And it's like, and now to see Jackie Beat here on social media, that's why she blocks me everywhere. Jackie Beat will block me everywhere. But I do have accounts that Jackie don't know exist because Jackie has great material. Absolutely great material that I make fun of. And I think it's sad that I actually can go to somebody that I thought was absolutely great, and I can now go to them to get material to make fun of them. I never thought I would say that. I would never think that about Jackie Beat. And it's like, dude, he completely fell for the PC culture. And that you would think that was, I'm surprised I would have thought Lady Bunny would have done it first. Everybody's saying hi, Mark. Kristen says hi. Leola says hi. And they're contemporaries. They're like the same age as RuPaul. You see, so RuPaul has become the big corporate capitalist queen who's completely destroying drag on her way out. That's what she's doing. That's what RuPaul's doing, is destroying drag as he goes over the Rainbow Bridge. Okay. Then you have Lady Bunny. Lady Bunny is more political than Ru, well, on the outside, but is more what's the word? Common sense. Where Jackie is like completely off the rails, and everything is about Trump, everything's about Nazis, everything's about politics. It's like, gee, come on, geez. Oh, I know, huh? XYZ. As I get going. Okay. So I'm going to powder this. I'm going to powder all of this creamy stuff that I put on. And I'm using it's called Naturally Neutral Air Spun Makeup. You can get it makeup. Every broke drag queen uses this. So, but of course they're going to, well, I use MAC this, I use MAC that. Real ones use just the cheap shit, okay? Tried and true makeup, you know. White woke liberal far leftist women hijacked the yes, Robert. And the funny thing is, all of these drag queens were saying this years ago, and now what did they do? They're all part of it. They're all part of it. Did you ever get to see the Divine Music? I didn't. I've never been to DragCon. I never have. When DragCon came out, I was already like, I was like, well, why am I going to go here to see this stuff? When, I don't know. I just thought it was just too much money. It was too commercial. It was too big, too many people. You know, when I actually have a lot of these people's phone numbers in my phone. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's kind of like, for me anyway, working at Disneyland and then going to a Disney convention. You know what I mean? That you see all the fans, all the people, and it's like, you're like, I don't know. But I understand why other people like it, because they don't have access to it. Like, I don't know why DragCon's in LA, in New York. Like, why not do it in the middle of the country where people have access to it? But I'm going to tell you, a lot of drag queens will tell you, LA is not the place. It's the place to live, but it's not the place to perform, because they're everywhere. Like, you can go Palm Springs, you can go to LA, you can go to Orange County. You could see all the very popular drag queens there, but you can't see them in Iowa. You know what I mean? So that's why it's a big deal when they're performing like in Ohio or something. It's like, oh, wow, so-and-so is going to be here. Then it becomes a big deal, but not here. But they live here because there's film opportunity and stage opportunity here. Oh my God, Puss, love you. Too many 14-year-olds. I don't, because it's just, I can't enjoy my drag with children. I can't. That's why I made the video. That's why I made it in 2019. You know, it's like, why am I the only one talking about this? I know there's lots of them who believe it. They don't want to do this around kids. And it's not, and it's not even that they think it's perverted. It's like, why do I do my art? Like, I don't do this for kids. It's like honestly, like, why would I don't want to look out the audience and see it. I just don't. And you know, whatever. Doesn't mean I hate kids. Tom Hankey, Trump is trash. Okay. Honey, we know. We know. You know what, Tom Hankey, it's not very edgy. It's not very edgy. It's pretty common. I keep waiting for RuPaul's Race Autism. Oh, Bubba. Well, you know what, Bubba? I'm sure that somebody at some point is going to be doing their makeup in the mirror in the workroom going, I have to tell you all something. I have autism. And it was so hard and the struggle and everything that I had to go through. I mean, Roxy Andrews, love Roxy Andrews. I think he's beautiful and everything. But he come on 2 different seasons crying about something. It's almost like they have to have their crying moment, don't they? Like, come on.
Did you say Skanky Tom Hankey?
Oh, Tom Hankey's on here.
Oh my God.
He says nothing but hashtag Trump is trash.
Of course.
That's his drag persona.
Yeah.
Tom Hankey's drag persona. Robert says, Hoggy, love you, because when I first came across your channel, I was like, holy crap, finally someone who gets it. It's like, and how? I don't know how people don't get it. I don't know.
Do you remember, okay, when the phrase they drank the Kool-Aid came into popularity?
Yes.
Okay, that was Jim Jones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, see,
cult member Jim Jones.
Yeah, the people you're talking about, they literally drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, not only they drink it, they love the flavor.
They love
the flavor of it.
Oh, this is delicious.
Puss. Then another queen will one up the autism and cry that they have webbed toes and one testicle. You want to know what's getting me in trouble right now? If you guys go look at RuPaul's Drag Race and everything Drag Race, Valentina, so Latina, Valentina. I think it's put on a little bit like Sofia Vergara. Okay, but anyway, grew up here in Southern California and talks like this. Talks like this. Anyway.
But why?
But for why? Anyway. Okay, so anyway. So Valentina here, let me go do my makeup. So Valentina, it did something for Vogue. I don't know what it is, because he doesn't want to be a drag queen. He wants to be a woman and a fashion model, like Miss Fame. Okay, they don't even want to be drag queens. They want to be beautiful women. That's it. Okay, anyway.
And a lot of women want to be beautiful women.
Right.
It's just a struggle.
So Valentina does this. It's a little snippet. I think it was for Vogue, right? And Valentina's being Valentina, going, well, when I was a child, I identified with Ariel. And the whole time she's talking, looking down at a script. I can tell I know what he's doing, looking down at a script, okay? And looking off camera like to somebody who's interviewing him. Valentina can't sing and has hanger shoulders. Okay. So Valentina's looking at someone and being very theatrical, going, when I was a little boy, I identified with Ariel. And my brother said to me, you know what, Valentina, I think you identify more with Pinocchio because you're not being your authentic self. And I'm like, okay. So you're a little boy and you like Ariel. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, I liked Wonder Woman and the Bionic Woman, so I get it. But at no time would my brother say, you're not being true to yourself, Billy. You're more like Pinocchio, because Pinocchio is a liar. And you're lying about your authentic self. I believe the whole story's bullshit. Bullshit. Okay. And then Valentina goes, and my father was training me to be a boy. And he even trained me to use the boys' restroom. It's like, because you're a boy and you have to use the boys' restroom. Like, why are you acting like you're a victim of something? You're not a victim of anything. It's like you're creating a victim story. It's just so gross to me. I believe the whole thing is fake. And I'm like, this is bullshit. And so I said on there, I just laughed because I have worked with Valentina. And I'll tell you, first of all, Valentina lied, okay? Lied to the whole public, saying that Valentina had performed for years. But then it came out that Valentina was a liar, okay? Valentina performed for the very first time at the club I worked at. Okay. And I remember it. Valentina, I can tell you exactly because Valentina was absolutely gorgeous. I will never take that away from Valentina. Valentina is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Up close. Not every drag queen looks good up close. They actually look horrible up close. Valentina, no, flawless. Okay. I'll never take that away from Valentina. Valentina's a liar and Valentina's phony. Okay. So Valentina performed at the club, sang. It was if I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. And wore this blue, not blue, yellow. It was a yellow jumpsuit. It was all disco looking, hair parted down the middle, long, big, kind of Cher like, big hoop Latina earrings. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'll never say that Valentina's not beautiful. And is a gorgeous male too. Gorgeous man, and just happens to have enough feminine features to be a beautiful woman. Was a star, completely stunning. Okay. But Valentina had told people, "Oh, I've been doing these for years," in her fake accent. And it's like, no, you haven't. You just performed at the club days before you were on RuPaul's Drag Race. So you're a liar. I know you're a liar. Plus, and he's in Southern California. I knew all of them. Okay. Anyway, so that's why when I saw him on Vogue doing that, I'm like, you're a liar. And everybody knows he's a liar. Only beautiful on the outside. Exactly. Drag is not. It's not a sexuality. It's a costume. Plastique blew Valentina out of the water. You know what? Isn't Plastique like Filipino or something? I know Plastique. Has been at the club since I left. I know that. And Plastique is trans too, right? But Puss, okay, Sonique. Okay, Sonique has been here in California for many years. Hello from United Kingdom. Hi Ryan, how are you? Do you think the Boulet brothers are less toxic in drag culture? I kind of do. I do. And I know Kendra Onyx. Like I worked with Kendra Onyx when Kendra Onyx was a waiter, like a cocktail server at the club. And I was there. I watched his name's really Kenny.
Kendra Onyx?
Mark knows Kenny too, but yeah, Kenny's great. I think
Judy with the big booty?
And Kenny, I think he's fallen into the whole.
Has he? Oh.
He's a victim of everything, and you know what I mean. They love to dawn on this like oppressive, thing. Like they always want to call themselves an underdog or whatever. Even though you were on the second best drag competition, but
this probably, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're not.
I think it's misogynistic. Okay, if they want to say it is, I don't care. Okay, if you're a guy, and you're going to do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do it well.
Yeah.
That's how you keep your job. That's how you get a job. Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. Even you're a janitor. You're a good janitor,
right?
But you can be this broke drag queen, no. You're supposed to get better at it.
Yes, there are some who don't get better. I'm great, Ryan. How's the UK doing? How you guys doing there? Huh? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I have all that white on. It's basically going to be called baking. Well, it's baking enough. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna put blue on. I'm basically just gonna cover everything in a light blue to start out with. But yeah, Boulay Brothers. At first, when it came out, I was like, "Oh, this is a knockoff of RuPaul's Drag Race," but it was different enough to make me watch it. Who else did I know on there? Frankie Doom. We're not friends, but I know a Frankie Doom. He was also. See, it's weird. A lot of these people that you see on these shows all came through like the club that I worked at, and I know it's kind of weird, but it's just a club in Pomona, California, which is just outside Los Angeles. Um, and the owner, which we no longer speak anymore because he's an asshole. Um, we A lot of them came through the club. A lot of the big ones. But back to Puss Puss. We were talking about Sonique. Okay. Well, Sonique was doing the trans thing many, many, many years ago. I don't know any of the West Virginia queens now. No. Sonique, I'm talking many years ago, was doing female hormones. Okay. Before I even knew it was a thing. Okay. And the funny thing is, my sister caught it. We were in Riverside, California, which is like outside of LA. We're in Riverside, California. It was a popular club. It's still open, called the VIP. So we're at the VIP. It was the place to go to see shows at the time in Riverside. And so we're there. The show was head by, basically, the revolving cast was always Mayhem Miller, Delta Work, Raven, Morgan McMichaels. Those four were kind of standards in the club. And then they would have other queens like Sonique come in. Venus Delight, they would come in, like kind of rotating. But those four were kind of like the core performers of the club. And so my first introduction to Sonique was this one night. Me and my sister went. And so Sonique comes right up to us, like walks past us and stuff. And my sister had never been to a drag show before. And my sister said, "That's not a man." And this was before the whole trans and drag thing and everything. And I go, no, they're all drag queens. She goes, "No, that's not a guy." She says, "It's not. There's no way." And my sister's been around. Hopefully she's not watching. But anyway, she goes, "No, that's not a guy." And I go, "Why are you saying that?" "Well, look." And she pointed out his butt, or her butt. Well, we'll respect it and go her. Okay. Her butt. And I'm like, and I didn't even notice it, but Sonique was not wearing any nylons, no padding, no nothing. And like, she's standing right here, and I'm looking at it. I go, "You're right." I'm looking and I'm like, if this is a guy, he has awfully smooth skin. Awfully smooth skin. And he had, started putting on weight in a woman way, in the butt and the hips and the thighs. And I'm just like, he's right there. And I'm like, well, God, yeah, his skin looks like butter. And, it, and she had hips and actually was getting cellulite dimples and stuff. And I'm not saying that there aren't men that have that. I have when I was fat, but she wasn't fat. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's very, very womanly. And that's not makeup or nylons or padding or anything. So, my sister was right. It was very, very feminine and very woman-like. And so then that's when, then years later we find out that Sonique is trans. Okay. I'm basically coloring all this blue. Hi, Be Kind Rewind. So I'm doing. Didn't Trinity the Tuck come out of Trinity? I think Trinity has. If not, they should. But yeah, I don't know if he live as a woman or she. I think the first one I remember was Monica Beverly Hills, or isn't that a really little one? I don't really see that one anymore. Latina or black? I can't remember. Like a black Latina. She's plastic at this point. Well, back when me and Raven were friends, Raven was hitting the lips really hard and the Botox, and now I see him, I'm like, oh my god, it's like his whole face is like filled and everything. And it's really sad because I know Raven is a boy, and I'm like, you're hard to look at now. God. See, that's when you know a drag queen's making money is when they get a new face. Because you're like, oh, so this is a full-time job and you can support yourself doing this and you have to maintain your look. And as you see, I'll tell you, what must be very tragic for some drag queens. Because I'll see very young people come in to start doing drag, right? They come in and start doing drag. Wait, I got to address the fallout from this makeup. Um, uh, okay, so I've seen I was older when I was managing the drag club, right? So I'm seeing these fabulous drag queens. The club was an 18 and over club. So you would have drag queens as young as 18. Okay. So you see these guys coming in doing drag and they look great and beautiful and everything. But then they start actually turning into men. Because even at 18, there are some guys that are underdeveloped. They haven't really grown into their man body yet. And I'm sure this is an issue for trans people too. But like me, I didn't reach my full height until I was like 22. And then I also didn't get all of this. These I guess they call them what? Second masculine characteristics. I don't know what they call them, characteristics. But you really do not, and a lot of you men know this, and women probably know it too, but you don't really fully develop into your man self. I really didn't until my 30s. I was still skinny and everything, and I could get away with, stuff. And then all of a sudden I turn into a man. And it's like, well, yeah, secondary sexual, yeah, characteristics. And I'll see a lot of these guys that are performing and they're great and everything. Then a couple years go by and then they look like truck drivers doing drag. It's like, wow, you were very pretty when you were younger. And the illusion was a lot easier. But, men grow up, boys grow up and turn into men. And, I mean, it's so funny because me and Mark talk about it, but we knew guys in junior high who had mustaches. Mark, like I couldn't really grow a mustache until I was out of high school, but it's funny, we all grow up at different rates, and so anyway, as time goes on, I see these guys that were great in drag, and as they get older, it's getting harder and harder for them to do it because they're getting thick in the waist, they're getting, big chests, they're getting big shoulders, and they're turning into men, and it's like the illusion gets harder, but a lot of them don't really kind of see that they're turning into that because especially the ones who are very feminine or the ones who want to be trans, it's like, well, you know what? You're a full blown man now, and I don't think you realize it. But so I would see that, and I would kind of see their popularity decline because the illusion isn't there. It's harder to be now. They're getting heavy on their feet. They can't really do their dances and stuff. But anyway, so usually it's a little guy who can do drag. In my opinion, they can do it longer. Asians are good at that. Asians are good at being drag queens for a long time. Oh, it's my Tuck Tuckerson.
Tuck Tuckerson.
What you doing, Tucky?
We're gonna have a good chew and hang out in here for a while.
Good. I need a bigger brush. That's what I need. But yeah, when you start like this right here, like I said, this is a total man characteristic, and a lot of trans people get this shaved off. Like I believe that, like, I mean, I don't want to. Well, puss, you know trans people, right? Do you know trans people? Yes, totally. Drag is like ballet. At a certain age, it's time to retire, right? And that's why, you know what, that's why I've always been a monster, okay? So I've never really kind of taken drag very seriously because I know I'm not a woman, okay? But I never wanted to do it to be a woman anyway. But I did want to be beautiful as I could be. You know what I mean? Shave all the bone. But puss, don't they like make an incision up here and basically pull the face down and then shave off that bone? Do they all puss? Okay, not of course I'm not trans, so I don't care. But people say I have a superhero chin, which I never saw it that way. I always hated my chin, but you see, it's like square and I have a cleft in it. Is this something that you also can get rid of? I would imagine, you know, because I have a cleft and I have like my chin does this. Okay, and it's like, I know it's a masculine trait. I know some women do. I think, doesn't Adele have one of these chins? I don't know, but they can cut these corners off, huh? Yeah. Like the most feminine thing about me is my eyes. You know what I mean? So I don't have to do the cut crease or anything. I know, like I've always had what people say are pretty eyes. So I'm good at that, or I can, you know, but of course I have man all around them, but heard it here first. She going to be a lady. Oh God, no. No. Never. I mean, I love women, of course, but I don't. And you know, it did take me a while to grow up, and yeah, I did. I'll be honest, you know, and you know, everybody has their own story and experience, but I did for many years. I did resent being a guy. I did, and I think it's because I didn't like my dad. We didn't get along, so I didn't have what I considered a positive role model, male role model in my life. I loved my mom. I loved women completely. Hey, what are you guys growling about? I heard my doggies growl. Um, but and I'm not saying I know the origin of gayness or transness. I don't. Everybody's different. But I did. I resented being at some point in my life a guy because I didn't want to grow up and be a man because I didn't have great experiences with men. And I figured, well, I'm going to be one of those, right? And then, huh?
I'm talking.
Oh, okay. And then I always saw men as, oh, men have to take charge, men have to make the money, men have to support families. So I looked at it as a chore. I really did. I when I was a kid, I looked at men being a man as being a chore. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to have fun. I want to, you know, girls get to put on makeup and do their hair and they get men to pay for everything. So to me, it would have been the whole idea of being a female at that time, you know, I thought, oh, well, great. That'd be wonderful. Have men pay for my dinner. I don't even have to work. Like it was that stuff that I'm like, God, I want to be a girl. Plus, of course, I liked the clothes, the hair, everything, right? And I also, of course, liked that boys liked them. So yeah, I know that they're getting a little tense over there. But but it wasn't until I was honestly in my 30s. It took me to be in my 30s to actually like go, oh, I like being a guy. So like I said, it's different for everybody. You know what I mean? That's why it's so dangerous to transition children, right? Puss. And I'm glad you said that. But it is, and when I was in high school, I wore girls' clothes. I did. So in today's language, people would say, "Oh, you socially transitioned," but I still didn't. Even though I wore makeup and I wore girls' clothes, I did not present myself as a woman. I presented myself as a new wave male. Okay, and I shopped at women's clothing stores and bought clothes, and there were lots of guys who did. It was just because it was packaged as a fashion rather than I'm changing my whole identity. It was more of a fashion. Gottmik identifies as a gay man, but does female drag. But she's a biological woman. Like, I don't get it. And you know what, Meeseeks, I'm with you. Okay. I honestly didn't watch that season. I've actually missed the majority of RuPaul's Drag Race at this point because I stopped watching it. But I didn't understand the whole Gottmik thing because you're kind of sold one package about what trans is, and then someone like Gottmik comes along and changes it because we're led to believe that it's all about body dysmorphia, or I don't like being in this body, or and people say the same thing about like trans men who get pregnant. It's like, well, isn't that the ultimate woman move, is to have get pregnant and have a baby? So I think there's a constant moving of the goalpost here on what, you know, it just, I mean, even as a gay person who does this, it's confusing. I even have, a lot of people don't know this, I have a trans brother. Okay. I have a half sister who became a guy. And it doesn't make it even easier for me to understand it just because I live in that world. Drag is supposed to be an illusion of a female by a male. See, in Puss, yeah, we come, and lots of people are in here. We believe that. I think a lot of these drag queens really are confusing a transvestite and a drag queen. Right. And you think about it, you never hear that word anymore. Puss, when's the last time you heard transvestite? Because in essence, isn't really a drag queen a transvestite who does it for theatrical reasons? Then you have the transvestite, which is what we would call a cross-dresser, who kind of does it at home. You know what I mean? Because from what I understand, a cross-dresser kind of sexually gets off on them being dressed up in women's clothing. I could be wrong. But like I said, there's always a constant redefining of all of this stuff to fit whoever is doing it at the time. It's my opinion. I don't need an excuse. If I want to dress up as a woman, I'm going to do it. I don't have to say I'm sick. I don't have to say that anything. I want to do it. That's why. But I know there are people who need these excuses, like valid excuses for what they're doing. And it's like, you don't need an excuse. You could just be a strong person and just say, it's my business, fuck off. So whatever happened to that? I don't know. Okay. She tried canceling Nina Bonita Brown because Nina said she has curves, which she does. Nope. Transphobic, accept everything or be a reject. Personally, to me, she is one of those very lived out women that love drag queens and want to be a gay man so bad. You know, do you guys remember the movie Victor Victoria? And when I heard about Gottmik, I love the movie Victor Victoria. I thought, oh, this is the real life Victor Victoria, a woman pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman. Now, like I said, I don't know. You know, people have all their different reasons to be trans or to do what they do. Um, I love it. That is one of my favorite movies, and which is so funny because I learned about that movie through my dad, who my dad I hated and would call me a fag. But he introduced me to that movie, and I absolutely love Victor Victoria. It's still one of my favorite movies. And so I didn't understand it because everything that I knew about trans did not apply to Gottmik. I'm like, well, okay, so she had a mastectomy, and then decided to dress up as the gender you don't want to be for fun. Like, to me, it's a whole thing. And maybe the whole thing is an act. Who knows? I don't know. I know a lot of them. It's just an act. I don't know. But it's like, I don't understand it. Like, and I don't have to understand it. I don't have to. And that's kind of where I've landed with all this. I don't have to get it. I just don't. People do what they want for different reasons. Are those butt pads on your bed? They're my boobs. You guys, this is what my boobs look like. I don't know if I could show them.
I just saw them dangling over my head.
But, they're pretty big and they're heavy. So what I do is I used to put them around my neck so they hang and so they could kind of move around. But I was getting very bad neck pains. So what I do is now I put on kind of like, if I can't find it right now, I took it off. A tube top, but like a sports bra tube top. And so I put it on and then I just stuffed the boobs in. And they still move around and jiggle, depending on how loose the top is, the tube top. But it actually does a great job. It's the most simple. I mean, I paid like $200 for those boobs, and it used to be a breastplate. But once I realized that I have a big man, okay, they make drag stuff, right? Drag clothes, but even those clothes are too small for me. So anyway, but this was basically like a latex tank top. And it came all the way up to here. Okay. So you're supposed to have this smooth latex, chest and everything. And it comes up to here, but I have a football player neck. I have, big wrestler. I'm a big wrestler. I look like in real life, I look like a wrestler or a football player. Okay. And it's like, that's why I had to get them so big. You know what I mean? To balance me out. I do have hip pads. I don't wear them when I'm on here, but I used to have very big pads because I have to have pads, but I don't like wearing them because you have to put the pads on, then you have to put nylons on top of it. And so the pads are nothing but sponge. And it's like the sponge would fold and it would crease and it's just very hot and uncomfortable. So I'm like, if I want to continue doing this, at my age, it has to be comfortable. It just does. I'm no longer, I'm not going to. You'll see some of these guys in the club. They're sitting there sweating, the makeup running down. The wig is so humid and it's starting to like fall and their makeup is cracking and you see sweat in their underarms coming through and they're just sweat hogs. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So that's why I kind of developed this sort of look where I'm like, all right, I'm not a female illusionist. I'm a drag queen. And I kind of do more comedy and offensive stuff, adult stuff. So I don't have to look like some pretty little dainty woman. So I started not caring. I started wearing my I didn't have hairy chest. That's recently. Now I do this as kind of like an FU to drag now. In case a lot of people don't realize it, I'm shitting on drag. Because I can't stand current drag. Okay. I'm going to remind you that we're men. You know what I mean? And we're not nice. Okay. Because I'll tell you, I hate, and I know there's people who love it. That's fine. It's just not it's not my brand. That's such a common thing for people to say. It's not my brand. Like, And it's funny because, and another thing, it's funny because a lot of especially a lot of the older ones, they'll say drag is political, right? And they use that as an excuse to be so political and stick to their guns about certain things. No, we've always been political. Yeah, but you've always been against the establishment too, haven't you? You've always been against the current government or what's happening or everything. And it's like, no, not anymore. Not anymore. Are they even political anymore? No, they're caving in. They're not fighting against anything. Like when Biden was in office, nobody fought against Biden. You wouldn't hear a drag queen say anything negative about Biden. It's like, oh, so now you're like sucking their dicks? It's like weird. And it's like, and that's why I feel like I'm one of the most rebellious ones fighting against it. Like, no, I like all this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, no, when you are parroting everything in your community, you're not edgy or groundbreaking or fighting the system or going against anything. You're promoting it. You're a part of it. But I think that's what it is. They like being, you know what it is? These are people who have been wanting to sit at that table for so many years. And you know what? They're like Carrie White. They're like Carrie White being invited to the prom. They accept me, mama. They accept me. That's what they're doing. It's like when Carrie White got invited to the prom. Everybody's like, what, Carrie got invited? That's how I'm looking at these drag queens that are now going on all these talk shows and being embraced, and they love it and they're eating it up. They're only eating it up because it's money, okay? But I've been telling them for years now, the party is going to end, okay? Because you're going to be old and no one's going to care. You're just going to be a man in a wig and a dress. Like how we used to understand it, how we knew, oh, I'm just a performer. I'm just, no, they all think they're icons now. They think everybody loves them. They only love you if they could use you, okay? Because I'm telling you, I think Gen Z, if you have been in their face your whole life, trust me, they're going to get sick of you. They are. You can only put up with it for so long. My friend is a drag queen and he said it's really hot. Oh, it is. I was never hot. Okay, I was never hot on the stage. I was hot off the stage. Well, where I performed, we had fans and air conditioning and all of that stuff. The club I worked at was very, very good to drag queens, and I think that's why they performed there because, like, we would actually like even like low level queens, like, oh, what do you like? We would we would give them a dressing room and stuff, and like treated them really well. A lot of queens are like in closets. When I performed, okay, the time that I did that Republican event in LA with the Log Cabin Republicans, I performed at a place called Rocco's Tavern, okay? I go there. They don't even have a room or a bathroom for me, and I wasn't even dressed up. I'm like, well, where am I going to get ready? We'll just go to the restroom and do it. I had to go to the men's restroom and get ready. So, of course, it's a straight bar, and we were doing this whole thing in the speakeasy in the basement. But I had to go upstairs to the bar. That's the sports bar right by UCLA. Okay. So then I had to go to the bathroom. So me and Marquina, we take the handicap stall and he's holding the mirror for me as I'm doing my makeup and getting dressed. So security comes in and they go, "Why are two males in the handicap stall?" And I'm like, I'm working here and this is the only place I can get ready." Security stayed in the bathroom. This is in Los Angeles, okay? And so like they didn't want two men together in the bathroom. So a lot of you people, oh, it's so California's so progressive. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. So all you people in Nebraska who think you have it so bad, it's not that much different in LA, trust me, in parts of LA. I've been to clubs where queens got done up in closets because there was no room for the right. At the club I worked at, it was Raven's dressing room, separate dressing room, but Raven was no longer affiliated with the club, but the owner kept her name up there just because it's a famous name. Okay, so all the drag queens would go in there and get ready, or we had like a community dressing room where it had all nice lights and mirrors and just chairs lined up, and you can get ready in there. And they'd get ready with all the dancers, so they would see naked men in there. Your breath of fresh air. When I first saw it was on someone's YouTube channel, and I thought Hagatha was real. It was anti-woke channel. Well, yeah, I mean, why do you want to parrot what everybody's saying? It's like in doing. It's like you're not unique. You're not different. I would rather be hated. I honestly would rather be hated by everybody that I used to work with and all of like the current drag queens. I'd rather be hated. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me whatsoever. And that's the thing. You know what? Drag queens are really the ultimate, like, insecure person. The new ones, anyway. They sit on stage and look for approval. Oh, thank you, Rhea. It's sad to see rebels curl up those crazy ideas. I know. It's like the whole like divine comes from the John Waters world. There is nothing mainstream about that. Nothing. It was offensive and gross and to so many people, but yet they couldn't stop watching. You know what I mean? I don't mind being that. I don't. I mean, I'm already almost 300 pounds, 6'3" man doing this. I mean, there's nothing conventional or normal, according to our society, about it. And I don't want it to be normal. Why would I want it to be? All these drag queens want all these people dressed up as drag queens. Like, you do realize that it's your job, right? Like, why do you want? I just don't. I don't know. Why are you gonna basically be a cookie cutter of everybody else? I mean, granted, I am doing a cookie cutter divine look, but I'm just kind of using a vintage look. You know what I mean? Is it an innate desire for truth? What's the environment like in the community where you live after Trump won? You know what? I don't. You know what? Like I live in Southern California. I just don't think anybody really cares. I think a lot of what's going on is completely media driven. Um, in my neighborhood, I saw just as many Trump signs as Harris signs, which are very few. It's I don't think okay. Southern California, where I live anyway, it's not very political. It isn't because everybody's poor. Like nobody's doing well. So it's like the last thing they care about is you know what I mean? It's like they just want a better life and they don't care who gives it to them. And the administration, and see, this is why it's so simple. It should be very simple for people to get. We had 4 years of one thing and then we had 4 years of another. We basically all just looked back and said, what 4 years were better? Well, it was doing good and then we had COVID. Okay. So people, I think, considered that. And it's like, I'm going back to that. I had more money. Gas was cheaper. My dollar went further. Things were cheaper. They're now trying to convince people that things are not more expensive. Like, really? And see, that's where they go wrong. At least, you know what? One side says, you're right. It's terrible. It is. And then you have like Kamala Harris asked her on a talk show, so what would you do differently with your administration than with the Biden administration? Nothing. I can't think of anything. Really? You can't think of anything. Okay. I mean, I don't know. And then people bought the hype. They saw I think a lot of people resent it. I think, and they won't admit it because they're too proud to admit it. They're too proud to admit they were led astray. And that's sad. And you know, there are people who know they're wrong. We've all known people who know they were wrong, and they know they're wrong, but they'll never admit it because they're just too proud to be wrong. And it's like, I was wrong for years. I was wrong for years. And it's funny because there are people who just have so much pride and they're so afraid of being wrong. And it's like, wrong, but it's tied up to their identity, right? But see, but they can only think one way. It's funny because they're very rigid in the way they think. Like I said, there are people I know. Well, they're on TV and they're like saying, "How could people vote for Trump and abortion? Doesn't that go against their values? Why do they think everybody's an evangelical Christian? I don't get it. Like, why do they think everybody's a Christian? They're not. I mean, statistics have shown you this country has become less Christian. Well, that's everybody. There are less Republicans and conservatives in the church than there used to be. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're so stuck in this like rigid mindset. It's like, seriously, like I think you're saying more about you than us. It's like you're not bendable. You can't adapt. You're not spontaneous. It's like it's really strange to me. And increased minimum wage in 3 states that voted Trump this time, right? And the funny thing, okay, our fast food minimum wage went up, which is a big flaw. See, that right there, I would never, ever vote for Gavin Newsom. Like, I really feel in my heart he's going to run in 2028. I'm not even going to consider him, just like I never considered Kamala. She's a California girl. Gavin Newsom's a California guy. Never vote. I'm telling you, don't vote for a politician out of California. Don't, because they have not. There has been no success in this state. I'm telling you, since I was a child, the past 50. Okay, I'm 55. Over how conscious I have been in my life, nothing has gotten better. Everything has gotten worse in this state. Everything. The state has been in decline since I was a child. And it's ridiculous. And people continually vote for this shit. And then they're even considering voting for people. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, we saw, and people are going to forget about it or they'll make excuses for it. We saw during COVID, we saw Gavin Newsom going out to restaurants and eating on camera, completely unashamed. And then said, yeah, I did it. It's like, dude, you're in a restaurant without a mask on, but yet you're forcing us. We were eating outside in the street. While Gavin Newsom was in his high-priced restaurant up in Northern California. Yeah, yes, Gavin Newsom and Pelosi are related. Okay. While he was there, me and Mark, we were in Palm Springs. We were taking our mothers out for a nice brunch in Palm Springs on Mother's Day. We had to sit on the street over a sewage drain. Okay. Well, because that's the only way you could dine then is outside. So Palm Springs, they have this 4-lane avenue called North Palm Springs Drive going through Palm Springs. All the restaurants and art galleries and shopping is everything. It's the main drag. They took up a lane on each side. So they took like the slow lane. They left the turning lane and the 2 fast lanes. Okay. So the outside lanes next to the sidewalks, they put K-rails. So now the street becomes part of the sidewalk and they line the streets with tables and chairs so people could eat there outside the restaurant. They sat us over a sewer hole drain. So you're smelling shit the whole time you're there. Well, Gavin Newsom is in a California restaurant eating at a 5-star Michelin restaurant inside without a mask on. Okay. So this is what he did and completely didn't care. And it's like, and people are going to vote for him. They're going to vote for him. It's like, he doesn't care. He makes up his own rules. He makes rules for thee and not for me. And it's like, how do you justify it? He couldn't justify it and he didn't. And people are going to let him get away with that and they're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for him. Nancy Pelosi, we couldn't have salon services. Oh, Nancy Pelosi, she goes right into a salon and gets her services done without a mask on. And it's like, and people want to wonder why people like me didn't take COVID seriously. You guys aren't taking COVID seriously. The people who are telling us to take it seriously aren't taking it seriously, which you as our leaders are in the know, right? So we don't believe you. So it's like, well, you're not wearing a mask. You don't care about COVID. So why am I supposed to care? Are you special? You can't get COVID? Well, then that tells me it's all bullshit. And we just let them do that. Like, they should be out of office. Like, we shouldn't even know who Gavin Newsom is anymore. We should have got rid of Nancy Pelosi years ago. It's like, and people put up with it just because they have a D next to their name. I don't care what, if a Republican was doing that, I wouldn't support them. I wouldn't support them at all. For me, it's not about political party. It's about who you are. I don't care if there's an R or a D or an I next to your name. I don't care.
Did you mention the 65-cent gas tax?
Yes. Did you know also Gavin Newsom has approved a 65-cent gas tax? We are already paying the most taxes in this country. We're paying what, 47 cents, Mark, now?
Yeah.
We're paying, so over $1 of the cost of our fuel will go to taxes. How is that? And people are cool with it. It's like, I'm telling you, California Democrats are retarded. They are retarded. Okay. What, just because their favorite celebrity says, oh, I'm telling you.
Can you eat?
Yes.
What do you want? I'm going to make a chicken sandwich. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll take a chicken sandwich. Wait, what did we? Oh, I want the Chick-fil-A sauce.
I got Chick-fil-A sauce for you.
And can you put cabbage on it too?
Maybe.
Okay. Gas right now, I'm still paying $5. Okay. Well, because I have to have, I loved Early Hoggy. She was someone to believe in, and she did it her way and meant it. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, anyway. Okay. Now I'm getting lost. Marquina, knocked me off of my thought process. Yeah, well, I have to buy premium for my car. Let me see. I'll find out what Costco gets. Okay, so that's always the cheapest. Costco and Sam's Club are always the cheapest gas. Okay. Sam's Club, San Bernardino. Usually it'll show you the price of gas. Let's see. Costco San Bernardino gas. I don't know. We're paying like close to $5 for premium. That's I can know that. I remember. I can tell you that. Here in Maverick, Maverick, it's $3.45. But I have to buy premium. Oh, you're paying $1.50 per liter in Canada. Now, what is there, like 4 liters to a gallon or something? I'm not sure how much. I'm not really good at math like that. Okay, so Divine kind of does a weird thing. Well, because he's fat, so he has no eyelids. So you see, I have like these deep. It's very hard to get around that. My eye shape, because it is so. But Divine like creates an exaggerated like eye shape there. Yeah, something like that. I do too. It's expensive in PA. Yeah, I hate it because honestly, okay, I really do have to have premium in my car. If I don't, my car will like conk out and stuff like that. So that's the one thing I hate about my car. I love my car, but I have to have Alicia says, but if you go to Ohio, West Virginia, it's much cheaper. Oh, I know. Let me see. Mid-grade. Yeah, we haven't. In fact, I don't even know the last time I saw gas in the threes. Honestly, I have no idea. It's been a very long time. Yeah, I know a place like West Virginia is cheap. If I'm going to Phoenix or Vegas, which both are close for us to go, and it kind of I'm not saying we go all the time, but it's not uncommon for us to go to Vegas or Phoenix. That's like you'll fill up your car in California and then you'll fill up before you leave because gas is much cheaper in Arizona and Nevada than California. I've been watching you for years. Love you and Mark. You guys are so. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we're pretty down to earth people. I don't know. I think people who've probably been through some hard times and things, they tend to be more down to earth. Um, which I think everybody could benefit from struggle, struggle, and things like that. I'll tell you, I know a lot of these oppressed type of people from every walk of life, and it's like the way they complain and the way they speak. You're like, wait a minute, so you don't even know what hard times are, do you? Like you've really never been truly offended or oppressed or anything. Because I mean, if you're offended by things all the time, you know what? Then you really don't know what it really is. You know what I mean? And good for you. So if you want to cosplay being a victim, go ahead. It makes you feel good. For some reason, it feels good for some people to struggle. It makes them feel good. I don't know. Maybe they feel alive. I don't know. Maybe it makes them feel human. Maybe it makes them feel like they can relate to normal people. But okay, I'm going to um, add my own twist to this since I have a different eye shape than Divine. I'm still homeless yet. Hopefully, plus. Wait, where are you? Where do you sleep at, Leola? And I've never been homeless before this. I lived in my car for 2 weeks. So I mean, so I don't really understand. I mean, I understand 2 weeks in a car, but not. I don't know what your situation is. A lot of people like to make themselves a victim. I don't know why. I think it's because people feel sorry for you. Um, I don't know. I don't know why. People just they want to give the impression that they have a hard life or they struggle. I think probably to relate to others. But how do you feel about these people screaming and saying their rights are being taken away? They're people who want attention. That's all it is. It's all it is. See, it's amazing to me. I have, like I said, I have trans friends, right? I have the set of trans friends that are grown up and they're grown up and they well, this was a piece of shit. This completely dried out. Um in Walmart parking lot. You know what? When I was a trucker, I used to sleep in the Walmart parking lot, and it was a pretty safe place to go. But yeah, I was when I was a driver, I would sleep and I would sleep there a lot. I don't know. I just think you know what it is. I'll tell you what it's like. It's like the people who create fake racism stories. Jesse Smollett, whatever. And there's a handful of others that we know of. We've also realized a lot of like these swastika paintings, things like that, were all done by agitators and things. It's like it really kind of shows you the affluence and privilege in the United States when people have to actually stage racism or that I mean, I think with the history of the country and the culture, I think that should have a very heavy punishment because people use racism all the time for political reasons, for other things. And it's like, if you're actually going to stage stuff, I mean, to me, that should be like a woman faking a rape. You know what I mean? I think it should be a heavy punishment for that. I mean, if you want to say there's no place in our in our culture or our country for racism, there should be less room for fake racism. Because now what you're doing is you're attempting to implicate a whole race of people. You know what I mean? I mean, you're now gonna create a rich person, Jesse Smollett, and I'm sure that he didn't do it on his own. Well, some people say he was actually like these people like are friends and have had meetings and stuff with like people like Kamala Harris and stuff. Okay, but anyway, um, it's like, how do you take what people are saying? Oh, the biggest stain in this country against human rights, and then you're going to create theater like I said, implicate a whole race, white people, and point your finger at all of them as racist when you, as a black person, staged it, a rich black person, and then he should be behind bars. He should be. Just like that whole Bubba Smith thing. Oh, someone hung a noose in the garage over my car. No, bitch, that was a garage pull. And the fact that you didn't know that, no, I don't believe he didn't know it. He knew it. He knows exactly what it is. And he used it as opportunity to try to implicate white people. It's that simple. And it sounds so ugly and evil, but that's exactly what they're doing. Or women shaving their hair off because Harris lost. Isn't that just so stupid? They use homophobia as political purposes as well. That's right, JC. And you know what? It's going to end. It's, you know what? You ever, like, it's not like, have they ever heard the story, the boy who cried wolf? You know what I mean? It's eventually not going to work anymore. And what they're doing is they're hurting real people who may have real problems with that. And you know what? All these loving, kind, you know, Democrats, liberals, progressives, whatever you want to call them, they are creating the problem for the actual oppressed and the minorities. So I'm saying I've never met, honestly, people more racist than Democrats. I haven't. And I'll say that all day long. Some of these people are absolutely disgusting people. And they will use weak people, abused people, disenfranchised people for their own benefit. They'll use you, chew you up, and then when they don't need you anymore, they spit you out. And now you have, right now, Democrats completely coming down on the Black community and the Latino community because they didn't vote the way they wanted them to vote. Like, it's all right there. The writing is all on the wall. How come you're not reading it? I'll tell you, when Joe Biden won, I didn't hear one person say it's because of Black people or Latino people. They never said it. Okay, people can think, oh, the right's so racist and stuff, whatever. Not one person ever that in my world ever said, oh, those damn N-words, those damn beaners, whatever. They never did that ever. But that's what they're doing. That's what Democrats are doing, and fellow Democrats are allowing it. Like, none of them. I haven't heard one speak up. Not one. Have I ever seen a loving, non-racist, Democrat come out and say, okay, you guys, this is going too far. Okay, we're now basically becoming the racists because we're now blaming these people who have free will to vote who they want to, but we're telling them that we own them. That's what they're saying. You owe us these votes because we're the ones who care about you. They don't. No, bitch. I'll just tell you. On the right, you won't hear them talk about Black people. You won't hear them talk about gays. They won't talk about women. They talk about Americans. They talk about all of us because we live in 2024 and we're all equal and we all have opportunity. So just stop it. It's like, are you really progressive? Because you are living so far in the past, which is really strange.
They're going to put you back in game.
Why would you call yourself a progressive and live in the past? Aren't you supposed to be in the future? Isn't that kind of what that implies? And then when you talk to them, well, there used to be a time when women couldn't vote. Okay, there was also a time that we also were little amoebas in the ocean. How far are you going to go back? There was you know what I'm saying? There's a time where we were monkeys. You know what I mean? I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid. The last thing I want to remember is the names that I was called as a kid. The fact that I had to sit in high school, I had to sit in the office so I didn't hear people call me names. Okay, I was fragile back then, and it's like, I don't go back to those days and think about that. It's like, I don't understand. Do people constantly love to rehash the bad in their life? I don't get it. Because I can't listen to monkey propaganda. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, why do we? Oh, we've come so far. No, we haven't. If you still dwell on that, you haven't gone far at all. You're still in the same space. You haven't done anything. You're still thinking about women not being able to vote. Like, what value is it to you to sit there and think about women couldn't vote at some point? I mean, it's just. Well, we're not going back. Can you name one thing where anything has ever gone back? I mean, seriously. Have you ever seen slavery come back? Have they taken away gay marriage? Well, y'all tell you what, they did in California. That's the funny thing. Californians voted it for one time, and it passed. And you know what California government or some judge said? No, we're not doing it. So yeah, we did go back in this state. We did. California. They forget Trump was already president for 4 years. I know you, honey. You haven't you. He's already gone through the interview. Okay. You don't like his tweets. Boo hoo. Don't read them. It just. See, and what people don't realize is the majority of the population just are over it. They don't care. They don't care about the mean tweets. And people are like, "Oh God, Oh, he's a felon. Well, because the law was used as a tool. You know, oh no, I can't have a felon as my president. Well, honey, that's the reason. You know why people voted? Because they don't believe he's a legitimate felon. You don't think he's a legitimate president, as Hillary Clinton said, told the country, you know, being an election denier. But you can't see that it was all used as a tool. So the majority of this country don't care, or they don't believe that he is a true felon. Okay. And that's the thing. Well, he's a felon. Okay. Well, if you want to believe the courts and the police, I mean, aren't you the people that wanted to defund police? You don't believe in all of this stuff. You think it's bad. You think they're up. Well, how come you now all of a sudden the courts are great now? Oh, now you love the law. Now you love it. Okay. Yeah, everybody's a felon if they want you to be. But it's so funny that this is what cracks me up. These people on that side of the aisle, they they'll defend George Floyd. They'll defend. In fact, they would probably rather him be president than Donald Trump. They would. I guarantee. Did you see the video where people were saying they were in front of the Washington Monument and they were asking people, "Hey, would you sign this petition? We want to turn this into the George Floyd Monument instead of the George Washington Monument." Do you know how many people were willing to sign it? Like people you would never assume would sign something like that. It's crazy. We live in crazy, bizarre world, I'm telling you. And you're hearing that from a man who's doing makeup right now, who's it's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. People say, "Oh, it's clown world." It's totally clown world. Totally. The 19 Amendment passed in 1919 and ratified in 19. Oh, yeah. What women have been voting? What? I mean, it's funny because people want you to cry about it, like mourn. Can you believe it? Well, there was a time this country didn't exist either. I mean, what a country comes into its making. I don't get it. And it changes over time. Times change, cultures change, people change. And it wasn't just a United States thing, that was all over the world. Men were in charge, men voted, men made decisions. It doesn't happen anymore in this country. It does in other countries. Why don't you go fight those countries? Why do you keep fighting the same fight here? You can vote, bitch. I mean, get over it. In fact, any women alive today, they've always had votes. So it's like, how are you like mourning something or reliving some trauma that you were never part of? Like, it don't make sense. Like, why? Like, okay, I'm a homosexual man. Okay. Am I supposed to be angry that we couldn't get mad at married at some time? I'm not getting married anyway. But like, I don't understand, like, how can you create so much artificial passion to and try to convince people that you're feeling these feelings? And the thing is, nobody cares about your feelings anyway. Like, why is your feeling valid? Like, why is it okay that you don't like the fact that there was a time women couldn't vote or gays couldn't get married, and you're still upset about that? Like, why am I supposed to be upset? Like, why do I have to validate your feelings of anger? Because at one point, somebody didn't have a right, and you in 2024 are feeling offended by it? Like, are you that desperate for problems? Like, are you seriously that desperate for to have a voice in something? Or because that fight's already been done. It's like, oh, maybe you missed the boat on that. Maybe you didn't catch the latest. Yeah, honey, you've been able to vote. Have you been voting? Because I don't know. Maybe they're not voting and they don't know. But I don't understand, like, how can you be upset about something that doesn't apply to you? People are acting like stuff is being taken away. You know what? I'm going to tell you. You know what? I'm going to tell you what I really think it is. I think people of today, they see all these like pivotal moments in history. Say like JFK getting assassinated, Woodstock. Okay, they're replicating Woodstock. They think they are like in Lollapalooza, and now we have the Coachella. I think people are always trying to find their place in history, and they want to be a part of like something epic. So they create this fake stuff where there's really nothing to fight anymore. So what they do is they kind of go back to the past. So, well, I'm going to make sure this never happens again. It's like, bitch, there are rules. It's already done. It's on the books. I mean, shit, we still have rules on the books that they're not getting rid of. Like, you can't tie up your horse in front of a restaurant. Like, these are rules that are still on there. It's like, we don't even ride horses anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, I can talk till I'm blue in the face. I don't get it. Like, seriously, is your household's all in order? You have everything, you need, like, everything's cool. And that's why you could fight for these things that no one really cares. I think it's like so disrespectful, because it's like, you do realize that real people fought for this stuff. People lost their lives for this. People, you know what I mean? Like, they actually really did fight, and they really had passion about this, where you are kind of like, it's like you're shopping in Goodwill and you find some kind of secondhand trauma, and so you buy it and take it home and feel it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Well, women they were burned at the stake in Salem. So what? So what? They were eating people in Mexico when we came here to the United States. So what? It's like, I don't know. Lots of women voted, but picked the other guy, right? Um, where's my white at? You like my Jeffrey mirror? Some people call it a Shane Dawson mirror. I don't, I've looked him up. He's like some auburn-headed guy. I don't know what he has to do with pigs or anything, but I don't know. But people are like, "Oh, that's a Shane Dawson mirror." It's like, I don't care what it is. Yeah, well, he's a racist or whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I personally can't wait for those words and things to lose their meaning. Ugh. Okay, you guys, it's been fun, but I have to go. I really have to use the restroom. I don't know if I'm going to finish this look, but if I do, I'll post pictures. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you